definitely sense it, because the biggest nightclub in Wales has opened its doors. The light show has begun. A giant Rhai flutters in the Ninian stand opposite us, and every bucket hat is in its place. The lights are shining from the mobile phones and from the floodlights. We await the side as Aaron Ramsey stands with his eldest son Sonny, who's also captain for his local side Cardiff Cosmos at the weekend, as Ramsey returned to lead his country to that point in Croatia. As we await the sides in the tunnel, Nathan, are you predicting a Wales victory?
I am, indeed. I am predicting a 2 to 3-0 scoreline.
And Helen?
I'll go along with that. I'll be happy for that. Much improved performance needed, but I think they'll be buzzing and they'll be ready to go.
Rob Phillips, a very quick reminder of the Wales 11 as we wait for the sides.
Unchanged from Croatia. Danny Ward in goal. Connor Roberts, Chris Mepham, Joe Roden, Nico Williams at the back. Ethan Ampadu, Joe Morrell in the engine room. Harry Wilson and Daniel James out wide. Captain Aaron Ramsey behind Kiefer Moore.
And here comes Aaron Ramsey, here come Wales, as they prepare to begin their home campaign of these Euro 2024 qualifiers. Germany, on a third successive European Championship finals, is the aim. It has started in such good fashion with that result in Croatia. This, though, a different test. This, the chance to show that they are over their World Cup disappointment. This, the chance to show a sellout crowd, including a certain Gareth Bale, that they are ready to step in to a new era. Kick-off just moments away, but first the anthems. Hen Lad van Hadai will follow. God bless Latvia.
Newch chi aros ar eich trad ar gyfer Anthem Cymru, y wal goch, mae e drosodd i chi. Please remain standing for the National Anthem of Cymru, the Red Wall. It's over to you.
There may be new faces in that side, but the sound is still the same old hair on the back of your arms anthem, the most wonderful a cappella in world sport. It is time, though, to deliver on the pitch for Rob Page's new generation. It is Wales against Latvia in the Euro 2024 qualifiers, and here on Radio Wales Sport and on BBC Sounds every kick coming your way in the company of the former Wales strikers Nathan Blake, Helen Ward and our football correspondent Rob Phillips.
Well, it was good to hear it again, wasn't it? Back at this fortress, which is the Cardiff City Stadium. And the new look Welsh side are taking their team photo, and this time it's 4 stood up at the back. They still go for the odd team photo, and it's always good to keep some traditions going. So this home crowd have said farewell to the legend Gareth Bale, but now they look to the future and this transition team that Rob Page has at his disposal. And the team, though, familiar, certainly for those who went to Split, because it's unchanged. So it's Danny Ward in goal, Connor Roberts, who supplied the long throw, Chris Mepham, Joe Roden and Nico Williams, Ethan Ampadu and Joe Morrell at the heart of the midfield. And then the attacking foursome, Harry Wilson on one flank, Daniel James on the other, Aaron Ramsey playing in behind Kiefer Moore. And Latvia ranked 133rd in the world. That's 105 places below Wales. Pavel Steinbors in goal, and then across the back Vladislav Sorokins, Antoni Chermodis, Markis Osh and Robert Savalnic. Then across the midfield Andreas Ziganits, Christos Tobers, Artur Jundi, Danis Ikonej, and then up front Robert Uldris and Vladislav Gutjolski. There will now be a minute's silence conducted by the referee, who is Georgi Kurashvili of Georgia, and to remember those who have passed since last we assembled.
On the referee's whistle.
Straight through.
Impeccably observed silence to remember those who were last with us when Wales last gathered but have not made this. So it's Latvia playing towards the Volkel Canton end, who are going to kick off, playing from right to left in all white strip with just black striped flashes across their shirts. Wales all in red, as you would expect. They had a last gasp transformative victory, and well, it felt like a victory, a last gasp transformative draw in Croatia on Saturday. But to make the most of this, they have to split the Latvia defence open early and go for it. Make no mistake, these may well take some breaking down. Moore wins the ball in midfield, sends it flying down the right hand side, but too strong for Harry Wilson. I'm delighted to say the commentary team from Saturday are reunited. This time we're sat next to each other. So Wales record goal scorer Helen Ward alongside Nathan Blake. And Nathan, they can't complain about the atmosphere, can they?
Oh, absolutely superb, Rob. And national anthem a cappella style gets me every time. As soon as it goes up at the end, it just something happens. Just the hair stand on the back of your neck. Absolutely fantastic. But make no bones about it, Rob. It's going to be a difficult night, I think. You know, or it'll be as difficult as Wales make it. You know, they are a big team, physical team. Scored some goals as well. A couple of good goals against Republic of Ireland on the weekend. So tough task for Wales today, but I think they'll get the job done.
Wilson crosses from the right hand side, went for Kiefer Moore, but it's headed away. only as far as Ampadu, lofts the ball up in the air to the edge of the box. Wilson battles for it just inside the penalty area, and referee blows for a foul. Helen Ward, I thought we were going to get a Connor Roberts long throw then.
I know, he set it up, didn't he, but just played a short one into Harry Wilson, who he put a good ball in. That's the sort of ball that Kiefer Moore will want. I know we talked a lot on Saturday about the inverted wingers and how we'd prefer them to be on their natural side, but if you can put a ball in with that sort of quality, then it can work. It didn't quite come off, but positive start, if nothing spectacular so far for Wales.
Nearly 2 minutes gone on Radio Wales Sport and 5 Sport Extra. Euro 2024 qualification game. It's Wales against Latvia. Latvia's first game in this competition because they sat out Saturday. In the other game tonight, it's Croatia are in Turkey, where Wales will go in June. Throwing down the Latvia lefts, Soroyins plays it forward. It's on the ball again, and Morel is quickly in. Ball back to Danny Ward. Slight miscontrol, but nothing lost. And Roden in his own penalty as well. Looked to build from the back with Mepham of Bournemouth. Danny Ward all in blue today. The rest all in red. Early touch for Nico Williams. Ramsey, cute ball inside to Ampadu, who I thought was one of the stars on Saturday, Ethan Ampadu. As Roberts is high up on this right hand side, just inside the Latvia half, goes back to Mepham. And Rob Page has preached patience, and that's what Wales will need, as Nico Williams fires the ball forward inside right position, headed out though by Marquis Osh, out for a Wales throw, 0-0.
You can see already how tough it's going to be to break them down. Both teams playing same system of back four with 2 holding, 3 across and then 1 up front, so it's going to be extremely difficult to break them down, but Wales have really got to figure it out. I think 1 man up front, you've got to ask your centre backs to step in. Seen that once from Mepham on the weekend, and it resulted in a really good move from Wales, but you have to do a lot more of it tonight, Rob.
Here's the captain Ramsey, cross field to Mepham, touches it square to Morel, who never lets Wales down. The Portsmouth player steps up with some ease. Wide to Daniel James. Now James, first run for him down the left hand side, onto his right foot, has plenty of red shirts to aim for, holds it up though, lays it back to the orange booted Nico Williams. Ampadu's there as well, tries to make progress down that left, and Williams says no, we'll start again, as the Latvian manager Daniel Kazajevics is really full of energy on the side, or was just then. James again, this time burst down that left hand side, and it gets a low ball in left for Wilson. Goalkeeper saves. Wilson hit it with some aplomb, to be fair, from 8 yards, but it was Steinbors who got his leg to it and has turned it round for Wales' first corner. Helen Ward.
That is exactly what we need from Dan James, going down the outside. He's gone down there 2 or 3 times already and he's cut back and he's not got anywhere, but going on the outside, trust your left foot. It's good enough to cause problems, and we've just seen there. It's also interesting to know that Connor Roberts is playing very high. It's almost a lopsided system. He's very high. It allows Harry Wilson to get inside, and he gets on the end of the ball there and perhaps should have scored.
Corner curled in from that far side, the Wales left. Not a very good one though that time. Comes back out to the halfway line, and Roberts, who's centre field at the moment, Morel is on this right hand side. Roberts has now gone up ahead, but he's gone square to Ampadu. Scotland are 1 up against Spain. Scott McTominay, building from Saturday's win over Cyprus, has put Scotland ahead. It's 0-0 here. And for Wrexham fans, Notts County are still goalless with Altrincham. Free kick taken short on halfway. Ramsey clips it infield to the Rennes centre-back, Joe Roden, on loan at Rennes from Spurs. Not a regular in recent games though. And occasionally it showed in split. 6 minutes gone, goalless, as Morel collects from Mepham. Scurries forward up to halfway. And so far, Nathan Blake, Wales are being patient.
Yeah, it's a different type of game, isn't it, Rob? Tonight they've got the possession. Latvia sitting deep, at times letting them have it and just saying, go on then, break us down. So this is where the quality needs to come in.
Ampadu interception on halfway. Wanted to take the throw. I wonder whether the referee has given a free kick there. He has, for a handball. Free kick taken quickly. Wales have to be patient, but they need to keep the pace in the game, Helen Ward.
They do, yeah. It's important not to get lax on the ball and think that you've got more time than you have. It's important that Wales dictate the tempo. Don't slow it down to the pace that Latvia want. And so far they're doing that okay. They're without going too gung-ho. They're being patient, but they're moving. The ball speed is quite good. So they need to keep that up, keep trying to do the right things. I think Dan James in behind is a good option potentially, but of course with the deep line that's not always going to be on. Hopefully if he can stretch the line, it will open up spaces for the likes of Aaron Ramsey, Harry Wilson to get into.
Roberts is wide again, just inside the Latvian half, slides it forward to Wilson. Wilson looks to put Kiefer Moore in. Flag has stayed down so far, ball across the 6-yard box, and now the flag goes up. Kiefer Moore just straight offside.
Yeah, it's a good move again, isn't it? It's those pocket of space we're talking about, Rob. Harry Wilson this time in off the line, picks up a lovely pocket of space in behind the midfield. It just slips Kiefer Moore and looked almost level there, like the, I don't know, maybe just offside, but very tight, but good move all the same. Just need more of it now.
It definitely seems to be a ploy to have Connor Roberts coming up high. He's almost like a wing back rather than a full back, which he's used to, of course, when we've had a back five system. He's used to playing in that wing back role. But Nico Williams on the other side isn't going quite so high at the moment. He's allowing Dan James to keep the width higher up, but Connor Roberts seems to be an outlet, and it allows Harry Wilson a little bit of freedom to come in and find the spaces as we've just seen.
Well, they will have to watch the balls into the Wales box, because Uldrius, who plays his football in Netherlands, he is a man mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, if he fell over, he'd be halfway home. He really is tall. He's much taller than Joe Roder. Well, certainly much taller than me, but that's not saying much, is it?
I was going to say, okay. You, Rob, you still not be taller than him.
We were getting on so well. 0-0. Morel, who is diminutive. Nothing wrong with that. Roberts in field to Roden. Centre field in the Wales half. Kiefer Moore waits up front. Wilson in support. Ramsey is loitering inside left position. Made a little dart forward, but Mepham goes square. Nico Williams again. Forward to James. Quickly the space is cut down. As I said, Latvia ranked 133rd in the world. Not too many European countries below them. But it counts for nothing these days, with the coaching so improved throughout world football. Nico Williams switches play out to Roberts, near side. Just overhit it. Roberts jumped, got the header, but it was already out, and it's goalless after 10 minutes nearly.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mepham when he got that ball on the halfway line. Sanikis is just covering round a bit too far. Dan James is open from time to time. Just like to see him, instead of placing that like there, that pass backwards all the time, I'd like to see him take a chance and move it forward. Just that pass earlier.
Big night for Aaron Ramsey. As Roberts goes down the right side, Ramsey makes a burst in the box, curling cross, headed away. See what Connor Roberts is trying to do then. Mepham is strong but too aggressive, according to the referee.
That's a bit soft, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought so.
We're in the strikers' union. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're pleased if you're winning that foul, because he didn't really have anywhere to go. But yeah. I think Mepham was unfortunate there.
Yeah.
Gutkovius, that is. He plays his football in Poland and has scored for 5 wins in Latvia. 5 Latvia wins since 2021. That free kick is cleared, and then Morel knocks it over the top. Aaron Ramsey was going to give chase, now he does. Back to Steinbos, the balding Latvian keeper. He's 37, mind, so I mean, that's not old to be bald, but you know what I mean. He's losing it on top as the ball is floated into the Wales penalty area. They're struggling to get it away here, Wales, and then they do finally. Not too strong, not too far away until Wilson is really strong in the challenge, just shrugs his man off and drives forward.
I was just going to say, he looks really up for it today, Harry Wilson. I think he, in a game like this where he has a bit more freedom, it's going to suit him, isn't it? I think he was obviously restricted to a certain style of play on Saturday and had to be
disciplined, wasn't it?
Disciplined.
He had to be really disciplined.
But he's a maverick type player that wants to go and find spaces to get on the ball. He loves having the ball at his feet, and his ability with that left foot is incredible. So if he can maintain this, then it's going to be a good night for Wales, I think.
Yeah, he's just playing in that inside right position, slightly deeper than Kiefer Moore, with James on the left and Roberts, as you mentioned, Helen, as the ball is flicked over the top by Ramsey for James. He's behind the defence again, can't find a good cross that time. Easy for Markish Osh of the Latvian club RFS to clear away up for a throw, which is taken by the Wales captain Ramsey. 12.5 minutes gone. Radio Wales Sport and 5 Sport Extra Euro 2024 qualifier in Cardiff, packed Cardiff City Stadium, sold out a few hours ago, as Mepham plays it wide to Roberts again, beats his man, then feeds Wilson, edge of the penalty area, cross by Wilson into the box over the head of Kiefer Moore, as Markish Osh complains to the referee that Moore was climbing all over him. 0-0.
It was unlucky, wasn't it? Good move again, Wales.
It's a difficult cross though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've said it so many times. It's the right sort of area, but you overhit it and it's out of play. It's a difficult one to get right.
I'd like to see a step, like to see a little square pass there, and one of the midfielders step in maybe.
82% possession for Wales in that first 10 minutes. But as we saw in Split, possession counts for note. And there's a break by Chalniks to the edge of the penalty area. This time it's Ampadu who breaks it up and then hits it long. Wasn't much on, although he could have gone just slightly square for Wilson and Morel to develop the attack. Instead he went for the early ball forward, and Rob Page shows his disappointment with that.
It's not like Ampadu to make a rash decision, and Kiefer Moore's not the sort of player you're going to want to play balls over the top to. You've got to play it into his feet or into his chest, not over the top. He's not going to run channels for you. So Ampadu had more time on it. I think he could have allowed his teammates to catch up with him, but it's a rare mistake, because as you said, I think he was very good on Saturday, and he very rarely puts a foot wrong in a Welsh shirt.
0-0. First time Wales have met Latvia in a competitive meeting, as you've been hearing. They won 2-0 in Latvia in April 2004. John Hartson and Craig Bellamy on target. Heard John Hartson on the radio today, excited about a new era in Welsh football. Offside flag goes up, Wales free kick, and Danny Ward will take this free kick from just inside his own penalty area and across short to Mepham. Morel has plenty of space. Latvia retreat towards halfway. Morel makes something of the space, then goes back to Mepham. Ampadu now in the centre circle. Ramsey first time ball out to Williams. James hovers on that left hand side. Ramsey drops back into his own half. It's cat and mouse at the moment, you have to say.
Yeah, just keep moving that ball, 1 and 2 touch, Rob. Try not to dwell on it at any point, even if it's a 5-yard pass. Just keep the ball moving quickly.
That was better. And then Roberts jumps over it rather than collects it and gives Latvia the chance to move forward with Zuzins. Cross into the penalty area. First header is one, and then a miss shot, and then a shot comes in a second time. That was from Ikanieks, and it goes out for a Latvia corner.
Well, that's where they're going to be dangerous. Balls into the box. 2 big lads up there, 6'6" or 6'4", something like that. The 2 strikers, and as you say, Rob, Udrikis is just playing a bit deeper. Zuzins.
Savalniks of RFS, making his 50th appearance tonight, is going to take this corner.
Yeah, just need to be careful, Wales. Set pieces, balls into the box. Just got to make sure they win them second balls, if not the first.
Yeah, as the ball is played in. Ward has to save. A really good save as well. Got down sharply, and that could have been a real moment for Latvia. Now James to Ramsey on halfway. Ampadu. Ball over the top. Chance to keep more. Can't collect it. Bounces into the hands of Steinbors. That was a chance, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, it was a great save, Rob. To say we just said, you can't win the first, got to win the second. They won the first, I don't think they won the second. Well, certainly didn't, because Danny Ward pulled off a great save. That's why the fans behind the goal are singing his name right now.
You cannot take liberties against these sides. Not anymore, you can't. And as I said earlier, they've scored in their last dozen internationals, Latvia. They played in November in the Baltic Cup, which is obviously played by the Baltic countries, and lost out on that one.
Well, we saw on Saturday how important set pieces can be. We've scored one from our own, having not been in the game. You don't want to give too many opportunities away to any side from a set piece, especially with the height they've got in that area. But he's not even had to get up for a header. He's had a free shot at goal with his, it's a decent strike and a good save from Danny Ward. Credit to him for being on his toes and ready for it. Yeah,
Osh from about 10 yards and Ward sprawled to push the ball away out for a throw-in. Did enough. We'll start again from the back with Roden, but they've been warned now, have Wales. Still 0-0. Save at both ends though. Morel into Wilson. Good play by Wales. Roberts is wide. Chance for Roberts to cross. Driven slightly wide. Crowd in front of us all stand up. Lays it back to Morel. First time cross in by Morel. Looking for Ramsey. Beaten in the air. Headed away a second time. Picked up by Morel once more. Morel, little dart forward. Ramsey back to Ampadu. Brings in Williams. James is wide on the left hand side. Now James thinks about crossing right footed. Can't beat the first man that time. Savalniks may get another chance. Has to go back to Ampadu. Ampadu under pressure. Brings in Roden just inside his own half. Now Moore has to get back onside as Mepham finds Roberts, who's getting plenty of space on this near side, the Wales right. Building again. Ramsey round the corner ball, gets a ricochet back, thinks about shooting, instead goes wide to James. James into the penalty area, right footed cross comes shot, balloons up in the air. Roberts chases it on this near side, the Wales right, and collects it, back to goal. Not much room to work, so goes back to Joe Morel. Wilson, slight miscontrol, but they get out of that. Wales trying to turn the screw now with Williams on halfway. Ramsey's dropped a little deeper. James is on a run down the left hand side. Has to retreat now, but now he gets it. Chance to take on his marker again. Two up against him now, which leaves space for Ramsey to cross from that left footed side. Morel. Kiefer Moore header and well wide. Thought he should have done better then.
Yeah, he was up and hanging. He was up trying to stay in the air for a second or two, Rob. Probably just took off a little bit too early, heading it on the way back down rather than at this highest point, and at his highest point. But good play. Just keep recycling it if you're Wales. Keep putting the pressure on, recycling the ball. When you lose it, putting the ball back in the box. Pressure will tell in the end.
And Croatia have the lead in Turkey. Kovacic of Chelsea, who missed the sitter at the start of the second half against Wales. He's on target in Turkey, but 0-0 here.
I'd just like to see us in possession, Rob. We've got a lot of possession. I don't think we need two holders sat there. I think Morel and Ampadu between them.
Good play by Wilson. Won the ball back on this near side. Plays it into Moore. Back to Wilson. And he just has it taken off him. Vital tackle by Zuzins.
Yeah, I'm saying that one of them can break that line, Rob, and join the attack.
Ball forward, Morale, Mepham is shrugged off, but it was Gutjovzic who comes off worse. He's down on the ground holding his back. I think he was the one who nudged Mepham and came off worse. Chance for Rob Page of a little natter, I think, on the side.
I don't know if it's just on the landing perhaps that he's hurt himself, but yeah, he certainly initiated the contact with Mepham. He didn't do anything wrong, the Wales man. It's just on the landing, he's landed awkwardly, but he seems to be okay.
Rob Page with his new coaching team, notably Eric Ramsey, who just strides back to his I thought he was going to go back to his place on the bench. Alan Nill there as well, of course, but Eric Ramsey still on the books of Manchester United as an assistant to Eric Ten Hag. Now he retreats to his seat, leaving Rob Page alone on the edge of the technical area. It's going to be a drop ball, which I think should be in Wales' favour. Georgian referee just explaining it. Now he gives it back to Latvia, and it's still goalless, and we're already midway through the first half, but we said it wouldn't be easy.
I'd like to see a few more forward passes from the midfielders, to be honest. I think, you don't want to force it and you don't want to try and play balls through in spaces that aren't there, but I'd like to see Morel in particular. He's neat and tidy, but I'd like to see him be a little bit more adventurous with his passes, and I'd like to see Ramsey try and take more than one touch. He's trying to do everything first time, and I don't think he needs to. I think he's got a bit more time than he thinks, and if we can get him on the ball and impacting the game a bit more, it's only going to be a good thing for Wales.
Yeah, just a bit cautious, aren't we?
Here comes James though, nicks onto a ball in midfield, drives through, he's pulled back and he keeps going, run into a cul-de-sac really, still going though, across the face of the penalty area. Wilson drives it wide to Roberts, now those red shirts have got to get in the middle. Ramsey makes a run in behind the defence, picks it up on the byline, driven out of the penalty box, the Wales captain, lays it back to Morel, back to Ramsey once more, arcing run down the right side. There was a half a chance there for Daniel James to maybe a bit far out to pull the trigger, but suddenly he found himself bursting through.
Yeah, I don't want him to, I'd like to see him play a bit more in these little pockets, these little triangles when they get in these situations. That's a foul.
Joe Morel unceremoniously dumped down by Christers Tobers.
Yeah, like Helen's saying, the easy thing is to come out and go the other side all the time, Rob, but sometimes when it's nice and tight in there, a little 2 or 3 little pop passes can really open the team up.
Morel inside right wide to Roberts near the corner flag, beats his man and then just drifts off him, rebounds back onto the Burnley player. Should say Wrexham fans, who I know will be keeping half an eye on the National League, Notts County are 1 up at Altrincham. If they win that, they go back to the top of the league on goal difference, but of course Wrexham have games in hand. Here though, it's Wales 0, Latvia 0, and we played 25 minutes, Helen Ward.
Yeah, it's been semi-productive. Obviously they had the scare from the corner not too long ago, but there's been opportunities for Wales to create chances. Harry Wilson had a great chance. Just as we've been mentioning, we just want to be a bit more braver on the ball and a bit more creative. It's all very well keeping possession, and they're moving it okay at a good speed, but I think it's too many safe passes.
Yeah. Sorry,
go on. No, go on.
When you're 25 minutes in, first 10 minutes you can understand the safer passes, right? But as the game warms up and you play at the higher tempo, I'd just like to see them take those chances a bit more. It's all a bit careful at the moment.
Yeah, it is, and I think Dan James has started the game better than we've seen him recently, but he still looks like he's lacking that little bit of confidence. So I hope that early cross would have done him a bit of good, and I think it has, because he's still willing to get on the ball.
He's got to keep making those runs.
He has. His pace will cause any team in the world all sorts of problems if he uses it right and times it right. And I think Harry Wilson can still be the key to this game, but he's sort of gone a little bit quiet in the last 5 or 10 minutes. We want to see him get back into the game again, because he started it really, really well. 2
turns on a sixpence there by Nico Williams in the left back position. He is a clever player, although not a regular for Steve Cooper's Nottingham Forest. Roberts plays forward early to Moore, surely bundled over that time by Marquis Osh. They are a big side, aren't they? Some of these, he's broad as well, Marcus Osh.
That's why it's important to play the ball on the floor, play it quickly, 1 and 2 touch where possible, and get them. They're not going to want the ball at Wales' players' feet. If you sling it in the air, that's exactly how they want to play. They can defend that all day long.
Yeah, they've got to be cute, haven't they, Wales? A bit cleverer than firing up. Oh, Conor Roberts took his eye off the ball then, and Mepham had played it to him. He was totally looking the other way.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was looking at, to be honest. Mepham's sort of saying to him, what are you doing?
I think he saw someone he knew in the Ninian stand opposite.
Just a lapse of concentration.
It was then, yeah.
I can't imagine Conor Roberts has got too many friends in these parts, has he? Being a Swansea boy.
You said that, not me, Helen Wood. And I just saw Russell Martin in the director's box.
You waving to him, Rob.
I saw, and he blanked me.
He did
big
blank
time.
you massively.
I don't take it personally, but it's happened to me loads of times.
Don't worry, Rob, I'll get it for you.
South Wales derby on Saturday here at the Cardiff City Stadium, live on BBC Radio Wales. And Wales are struggling to get out of their left back position at the moment. It's a throw in to Latvia, and Rob Page is looking slightly more animated. I think he's not happy the way things are going at the moment.
Probably wants a bit more urgency, Rob. You know, started the game really well, like I said, 10-12 minutes, and then it's just seemed the last 5 or 6 minutes, just game's gone into a bit of a lull. And I have to say, we've both had a very good chance.
One good chance each, yeah. And a little back heel forces Ward to save again. That was Gutjovskis. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, clever attempt that. Just tried the sort of Cruyff through the legs. Luckily Danny Ward has read it and it was fairly comfortable in the end, but that was another moment that could be dangerous. We can't allow the balls to get into the box as easy as that.
I mean, I'd sell for a 93rd minute winner, but really the nerves could do with it earlier. Roberts, right hand side, level with a penalty, and leaves it to Wilson, back inside of Roberts, into the penalty area. What can he pick out? Keep him on the edge of the box, shoots and hits it wide of the left hand post.
Better,
much better.
I like the interaction between Wilson and Conor Roberts has been decent so far. Really nice ball there from Harry Wilson. I want to see a player running across the front post, though. Everybody's gone for the pullback, but if Conor Roberts can drive that across the 6 yard, it's going to cause them a lot more problems. It's a decent effort from Kiefer Moore, but it's not easy from the edge of the box. I think somebody's got to make a run across the front post there.
Yeah, well, there's 5 players hanging outside the box there, Helen.
Yeah, and it makes it too obvious.
Yeah.
Latvia haven't had to do anything there to stop Wales from scoring, but you zip it across the 6 yard. If you've got players in and around it, you never know where the ball's going to end up.
Seems down this side that Wales may get something. You just said it, you two. You noticed it early. Wilson is right up for this one. He looks lively, doesn't he? He looks full of desire tonight. Won some big tackles already as well. Harry Wilson, again having to come off the bench at Fulham more often than not these days, as is Daniel James.
I mean, perhaps that was part of the plan for Rob Page to give him a good amount of time on Saturday without, burning him out, because he hasn't had any football really in recent weeks. So giving him 60 minutes, it gives him enough to get some energy into him, but without killing him. And he started this game as if he's had a little bit of a rest after that, so maybe that was all part of the plan.
This time Ramsey makes a run to the edge of the box, crosses over hit, but picked up by James on that left hand side, back into Ramsey. Ramsey crosses into the middle, headed away, picked up by Nico Williams, can shoot, he does, and it just goes over the bar from 25 yards, right footed, just always a little too high.
Yeah, better last 2 or 3 minutes. Wales threatening. Every time the ball's headed out or cleared, they're recycling it and putting the pressure back on. Really good effort there by Nico Williams. His toe down, just slightly too high.
He gets in those areas really well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Quite often falls on the ball on the edge of the box, and that's not coincidence. That's something that's obviously a big part of his game. He's naturally quite an attacking fullback, so in a game like this where there's less pressure on you as a defensive line, to get in that area, I'm convinced one of these days he's going to hit one of those and it's going to rifle into the net. Wilson
again breaks down the right side, dragged down, and Joe Morale is down injured and just inside his own half, but he's okay, he's up. Free kick taken quickly by Roberts, back to Roden. Mepham once more. Picks up Roberts on this near touchline. A little deeper this time, so it goes back to Roden. Roden slides it through to Ramsey, all along the deck. James is off and running down the left hand side. Ramsey finds him, just couldn't control it. Little nudge on his marker though, which means Wales have got the ball back from the clearance. Williams into Ramsey, inside left position, clips it past the defender. Did it take a touch? No, James hadn't made the run.
Yeah, just on the wrong page there.
That's better from Ramsey though, isn't it? Trying to get the ball and face forward rather than trying to the flicks round the corner or setting it back all the time. He's trying to get on the ball, make something happen, and just wasn't quite on the same page as Dan James in that instance. It's
important that, like I said earlier, the two centre halves, step in and find those passes, Helen. And it can really make a difference. They got one man up front. It doesn't need they've got two and either full-back there. They don't need all three men marking him. One of them has to step into that midfield position.
Throwing down in front of the Ninian stand, down the left, but Moore gives the ball away near the corner flag. Ball played forward, Roden wins it, Ramsey.
Oh wow.
And the referee's given a foul against Roden.
I was going to say that's what he needed to do on Saturday before the goal, but even giving away a free kick would have been better. But that seems a bit harsh. I mean, he's got his hands on his back a little bit, but
there's a bit of a drag.
Yeah.
Well, the ref was really good on Saturday, but this one is a little bit more fussy, I would say.
Yeah, let it look go, didn't he, on Saturday?
He did.
It was quite refreshing.
And he disallowed one as well. And Latvia have won a corner off Nico Williams, so it's going to be Roberts Savalniks who's going to take it, right hand side. Got a 1-2-3-4 on the edge of the box, and the giant Uldrich in the 6-yard box. It's curled out, it's a header towards goal, but Moore was going wide.
It's a free header, Rob.
I was going to say, I know it was a harmless header in the end, but he's all on his own.
Christus
no one near him.
Was.
Yeah.
They're going to have to defend corners better. That's two now that they've not won first contact, and that's not good enough.
And he's trying to turn it on goal. It just comes off the side of his head, bit of a biscuit tin there. But if he gets that towards the far post, there's 2 or 3 Latvian players lined up. Wales be banging trouble.
Wilson has left somebody on the deck.
I don't know.
He's pleading his innocence now. There's a Latvian defender down, caught in the nose, I think, from Harry Wilson, and he's saying elbow. I can lip read. Not that my Latvian is what it was. But
wow!
I just don't think Osh is going to get that.
Oh, he's
booked Wilson. Wilson looks aghast.
I'm not surprised. That's a shocking decision.
From the centre half as well.
Yeah, it's poor.
To go down like that.
Should be ashamed.
He should, yeah.
Should remind you that Wales picked up 1 booking in Croatia. That was for Ethan Ampadu. 2 bookings, and he would miss the next game. A second booking here. And the next game is Armenia here in June before Wales fly out to Turkey a few days later. On paper, this is the easiest game in the group. The lowest ranked team in the group. As we always say, football isn't played on paper. Williams infield.
He could have come out wide.
James, should have gone out wide. Now
just still taking that extra pass, aren't they?
They are.
Just not brave enough to just risk it.
I don't even think it was a particularly difficult pass either. There was a big space for it.
And he's on his right foot as well.
There's a hubbub around the ground, isn't there, waiting for something to happen. I think the atmosphere would be transformed if there was a Wales goal.
Well, with the rain in the air, the drizzle, the fine drizzle, should really slicken the pitch up. So they keep to this one and two touch passing, the game should speed up, Rob, which is what Wales need.
Here's Wilson. Tried to fire it across to Dan James. There's an acres of space. Go wide, yeah. And Ampadu wanted it. He will play it wide, will he? No, he goes across the centre circle, swaps passes with Ramsey, and now James has space down that left side in the rain, which is teeming down now. Goes square to Morel. Williams is there as well, building once more, but Latvia have defensive blanket in front of their own penalty area. James again down that left, brings in Williams, thinks about shooting, sends a couple the wrong with a dummy, plays it wide for James, cross into the box, Kiefer Moore back across, Wilson hit the ball towards goal, wants a handball shout, it's not going to be given. Referee has waved away the appeals. Nepham wins the ball back high. That's got the crowd going. 37 minutes gone, goalless on Radio Wales and 5 Sport Extra. James again hits top gear down that left side, cross into the middle, comes up to the edge of the box, Ampadu shoots just over the top again, and this time they want a corner they're not going to get.
That's better though. I mean, considering Nico Williams didn't really look like he knew what to do, ended up in a good chance or half a chance there. They're obviously claiming a handball that's not been given, but just following up on the edge. Ethan Ampadu has hit it well, probably got, he's got too much on it, but it's another opportunity. It should have been a corner actually. It does take a clip off of the defender.
Wales are getting closer, you might say.
Yeah, the handball would have been harsh. It did hit his hand in fairness, but
it's tucked into his body, wasn't it?
He's got it tucked in.
Ampadu strong challenge in midfield, ricochets up to Kiefer Moore, who is a bit of afters as well, involved.
He did well there, Kiefer Moore.
Chenomodis.
Yeah, you've got too much stuff, Rob. You've got the players in front of you.
He always complains about the amount of room I have.
For a little fella, you don't have to take a lot up.
Well, a lot to say.
I'm really excited for your first fact of the day, actually.
About Latvia?
Yeah.
Well, they've got the oldest flag in the world, but you probably knew that. You didn't. Joe Price would know that, your big mate from Wales playing days. She would know that.
Yeah?
She likes a fact like that, doesn't she?
How old is it?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because it was first documented between 1180 and 1343.
That's quite a...
You're about to say,
yeah.
Rob, I really didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
No,
okay,
there we are.
For comparison, what about the Welsh flag?
He didn't do that.
Well, I got back late from Croatia, so I'm not chance to look that one up. Honestly, you're never satisfied, some summarises.
Just like to keep you on your toes, Rob.
Yeah. 0-0 it is. There's more where that came from, don't worry. 5 minutes to go to half time. 1959, the Welsh flag. Radio Rod, the producer, there on hand again. As Ampadu picks up a straight header in midfield, drives forward down that left hand side, still going, allowed to go a long way. Ethan Ampadu slides it into Ramsey onto his right foot, has to turn, then plays it into Dan James. He should have burst into the box. Now he tries to go in the box, crosses left footed, Kiefer Moore header, Kiefer Moore goal for Wales. James's cross, Moore's downward header. He had a sighter early in the half, but he's made the breakthrough. It's Wales 1, Latvia 0.
Yeah, great header, wasn't it, Rob? Used all his back, his neck muscles, everything. Good play in the initial. Ramsey, Dan James, lovely little flip cross to the back stick. Keeper, bit of time, got up, hung, and a real powerful header down to the keeper's left hand side. Great goal.
Yeah, brilliant play. Nice interchange between Ramsey and Dan James, and he's gone at his defender. And that's the difference between a right-footed cross and a left-footed cross. If he puts that in with his right foot, it curls in towards the goalkeeper. It's easier to defend, whereas with the left foot, it's peeling out Kiefer Moore's been able to step back, get onto it, and he's directed a header brilliantly into the bottom corner. Really well worked goal, and I'd say it's just about deserved. I think Wales have been the more front-footed team. I know they've had a couple of moments up the other end, but I think Wales deserve that, and it's what a great time to score just before half-time.
And that cross is the difference between a confident Dan James and one like on Saturday where he looked as if he'd barely played.
Yeah, and he would have 100%, he would have cut back onto his right again on Saturday.
Yeah.
And he's done that once or twice tonight, but he's been a lot more willing to go down on the outside and use that left foot, and we've seen the two best crosses of the day have come from his left foot, so he needs to keep doing that and believe in himself, and that'll do him the world of good, because he's going to know that he hasn't delivered in recent games for Wales, but that's going to do a lot for him and the team.
Clearly Rob Page has had a word with him, right?
Must have been listening to us.
Must have said something to him. Get down the outside, just throw it in with your left foot.
Here comes James again. This time he's caught late. That's going to be a booking, I think. Well, put it this way, the referee,
it's a yellow card if he does.
Zuzin, he's calling him over now.
Don't know if he actually touched him, but the intent was there, and if he doesn't jump out the way, then it's reckless. Yeah, it's reckless.
He's being dragged away.
Well, you book him for the intent of the tackle, not because he didn't catch the player.
No, it's not a yellow card.
But that's what Dan James can do. His pace frightens the life out of defenders, and when he's in this sort of mood, he's an outlet for Wales all day long. And Nico Williams bursting down on the outside, if the two of them can do that more, it's only going to play into Wales' hands.
They've given him the ball again. Wilson from the free kick. This time he crosses right-footed, got a long way and almost deceived everyone to go in the net, but burst past the post.
Yeah, if it's a target, it's a bit of a fluke goal, but as Helen said, when he hit it in from the right-hand side there, from the left-hand side right-footed, it's just too far ahead of Kiefer Moore, too far ahead of Wilson to get on the end of.
And as a forward, you'll know it's difficult to read the flight of a cross that comes in.
I want it coming into you, right, Hal?
Yeah.
Don't want to be chasing it.
Exactly, and you make the first movement thinking it's coming down the outside, they cut back, and all of a sudden you're going from a standing start with a ball that's going away from you.
And
it's
your
difficult.
momentum's going backwards also.
It's 1-0 Wales. Kiefer Moore, his 10th goal for his country. As Wilson tries to get away, then he is shoved, and that is going to be a booking. It was Sorokins who was just beating the pace and thought, I ain't chasing you, I'm going to push you over instead.
That's a lovely touch by Harry Wilson. Really clever.
Second booking of the night. And what Wales really need on Radio World Sport and 5 Sport Extra is for Latvia to lose their heads. Been a couple of meaty challenges in the last few minutes since they fell behind. Roberts takes the free kick. Wales go back. Williams up to Ramsey. Round the corner, ball from Ramsey. Moore ends up on the deck, wins the free kick. This time against Chernomordis. Ends up on the deck. It's his first goal since November for Kiefer Moore.
Yeah,
he scored against Everton.
It's not been easy for him, but he's doing all the right things today. He's getting himself involved with the centre backs. You don't always want to do that as a forward, but when they're as big as they are, you've got to put yourself about. And Kiefer Moore, it's his game to get himself in there, get his body in between, and win free kicks, and he's done that really well. And he will be pleased that James is in such solid form on that far side so far. Now Wales have to hold up for the minute left. Morel goes flying in midfield, and then Moore is almost caught, and he grabbed back. And there's a little stand-up between Tobers and Kiefer Moore after Moore was fouled late on halfway. Aaron Ramsey, the captain, goes to the referee. It is getting a bit silly though, isn't it? I mean, they're making some really reckless challenges. One there on Ampadu could have been given. Joe Morel gets fouled.
That should be a booking.
And then you got someone going after Kiefer as well. I think that goal has really played into Wales' hands, and since then Latvia have been nothing but reckless, and Wales are starting to enjoy it to a certain extent, but they're not going to be enjoying getting kicked about the park.
The Georgian referee, Mr. Kruashvili, has just had lectured both captains, and his final flourish was to just sort of shape to say calm down.
I'm not sure Wales need to calm down. I don't think they've done anything wrong.
Forward. Should have just booked him.
Anyway, free kick, 10 yards inside the Latvia half. Conor Roberts and Harry Wilson stood over it. Roberts leaves it to Wilson. Wilson charges towards the penalty area. Thinks about shooting, does! Oh, goalkeeper just pushes it wide. That was going in, and it had some pace about it. And Steinbors had to knock it wide for a corner. And typical, there's no time left for Wales to take that corner. But they have made the breakthrough just before half-time. It was an old-fashioned goal, really. Lovely cross on the left by Daniel James, and Kiefer Moore, the big centre-forward, headed home. It could be crucial, that one. At half-time, it's Wales 1, Latvia 0.
Yes, it could be crucial. Kiefer Moore's first goal in more than 4 months. Perfect timing as well, as Wales found the breakthrough. There's been a breakthrough in Turkey as well. Croatia leads against Turkey, recovering from Wales's knockback, but we all know what happened in Split. We'll keep you across that one, see where it leaves Wales at the end of the night, if they can hang on. Helen Ward and Nathan Blake, your first half thoughts. Nathan, you wanted more. Well, Kiefer Moore got it in the end. Sorry, I didn't mean that. They started well enough with that extra pace and tempo, but they almost got sucked into what Latvia wanted then, and taking the extra touch, slowing it right down. They needed that goal, didn't they? Yeah, they did. They really needed it, Chris, because like you say, they started really well, and then, as I said in commentary, I thought after 10-15 minutes they were doing well. I thought they'd really step up the tempo, take a bit more risk on the ball, but they didn't. The game went into a bit of a lull. Latvia had a couple of good chances, good saves by Danny Ward, and Wales come strong then, back end of the half. What they were doing well, though, Wales, when they were putting pressure on Latvia in and around their box, they were recycling the ball well, winning the second balls and keeping the pressure on, and in the end that told, and it was a great header from Kiefer Moore, but real good little interchange by Dan James and Aaron Ramsey. But I say, those little triangle passes, those little interchanges in and around the box, I think Wales can take a bit more risk and do that a bit more often. That's what you were asking for as well, Helen, a bit more urgency in Wales' attacking play, gamble a bit more. Yeah, definitely, and the wide areas certainly look like an area that Wales can hurt Latvia, and I don't mean touchline wide, I mean those little spaces between sort of the edge of the penalty area and the touchline. You can make, centre midfielders can make runs. We've seen Aaron Ramsey make one in behind and he tried to cut the ball back. Conor Roberts and Harry Wilson on this right hand side have linked up well in those areas, and I think the same can happen, as we've seen from the goal, with Dan James. Aaron Ramsey again making that sort of corner flag run, if you like. He's got on the ball, passed it back to Dan James, and he's whipped it in for Kiefer Moore to finish brilliantly. So those are the areas that, I mean, maybe have been targeted pre-match. As I said early in the game, you could see that Conor Roberts, his game plan was obviously to be very high and act as more of a winger than a fullback, allowing Harry Wilson that space, whereas Dan James is a bit more of a traditional winger, hugging the touchline. But it poses different problems to Latvia, and those are the areas where I think we're going to hurt them even more in the second half. We will find out more from Helen and Nathan to come in the second half. Wales lead by 1-0. Croatia lead by 2-0. Kovacic with the second for the Croats, playing away from home. Wales with 68% possession here, getting 9 shots on goal. Certainly frustrating the Latvians, who've committed 10 fouls. The most important scoreline is, though, that Wales lead by 1-0, so it'll be worth watching again, hopefully, on Match of the Day Wales at 11:25 tonight on BBC One. Wales and the iPlayer. Just to round up some of the other scores, certainly in Group A, could be a shock on the cards at Hampden. Scotland leads Spain by 1-0. Scott McTominay scoring again after his double against Cyprus on Saturday. Georgia drawn with Norway earlier in the day. All the other scores available on the BBC Sport Wales website, and the rest of the day sports news is coming here on Radio Wales Sport, as well as second half commentary. We're after the latest Radio Wales news, travel and weather with Lynn Morgan.
Thank you, Chris. Drier with clear spells overnight. Cloudy with further rain tomorrow, turning windier as well. Minimum temperature overnight 7 to 10 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, maximum temperature 11 to 16 Celsius. Let's get the latest travel news now on BBC Radio Wales, and here's Johnny Ratner.
Lynn, thank you very much indeed. Problems continue if you're heading into Cardiff this evening on the A470. Now, the North Road, it's been shut since around midday following that accident. Those investigation works are still taking place between the A48 junction at the Gabalfa interchange down to the Texaco petrol station. Having said that, having looked at the speed sensors, surrounding routes coping much better getting past that at the moment. And just north of Merthyr, the Gurnos Ring Road, that's still shut at Kevin Coyd at the scene of that one vehicle collision. M4, once you get onto the motorway, looking lovely and quiet, as is the A55 up in North Wales from what I can see on the live Traffic Wales cameras. And on the trains, Transport for Wales still can't run between Crewe and Manchester Piccadilly because of problems with the signals at Crewe, and buses replace trains between Ebbw Vale Town and Cardiff Central, and between Ebbw Vale Town and Newport due to engineering work. And for now, that's the very latest for you from BBC Radio Wales Travel.
Every Wales game live in the Women's Six Nations on FM, digital radio and on BBC Sounds.
This is BBC Radio Wales.
And just after 20 to 9, BBC Radio Wales News. The mother of a 10-year-old boy who was killed by a dog in Caerphilly has called for a fundamental change in dangerous dog laws. Emma Whitfield's son Jack List died after being attacked by an American XL bully dog in 2021. She told BBC Wales her family's been devastated by Jack's death and that changes to the law are needed.
We need to stop this from happening. I'd like to see more changes around breeding, so not just anyone can breed dogs. Licensing, then it's selling. So I don't think it's fair that anyone can just sell an animal with no prior knowledge or care for who it's going to.
The UK government says a working group has been set up to look at ways of reducing dog attacks, which will report back later this year. MI5 has increased the terror threat level in Northern Ireland from substantial to severe, meaning an attack is highly likely. Last month, dissident Republicans tried to murder a senior detective in Omagh. The level change comes ahead of an expected visit by President Biden to mark the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement next month. Almost 500,000 people have taken to the streets of Paris in protest against President Emmanuel Macron's pension reforms. Mr. Macron's government plans to extend the retirement age from 62 to 64. Margot Haddad is a diplomatic correspondent for the LCE News Channel based in Paris. She told BBC Radio Wales it's a complicated situation.
So we are in this time frame of 15 days, and this law needs to go through the Constitutional Council that says whether this law that's passed through the president was constitutional or not. So this is the last chance for protesters to make their voices heard.
The International Olympic Committee has recommended that athletes from Russia and Belarus should be allowed back to compete internationally. Its president said they should only take part as neutral competitors. Moscow has condemned the conditions. BBC Radio Wales, for an update anytime, ask your smart speaker to play BBC News for Wales. It's coming round to 18 minutes to 9.
Your team for Welsh Sport.
This is BBC Radio Wales Sport.
Yeah, welcome back to Radio Wales Sport. Welcome back to Cardiff City Stadium, where Wales have had their chances, missed their chances, but in the end found that little bit more they needed.
They had a last-gasp transformative draw in Croatia, but to make the most of this, they have to split the Latvia defence open early. James again. This time burst on that left-hand side. Anna gets a low ball in. Left for Wilson. Goalkeeper saves. Ball is played in. Ward has to save. A really good save as well. Got down sharply. And that could have been a real moment for Latvia. Back inside of Roberts. Into the penalty area. What can he pick out? Keeps the ball on the edge of the box. Shoots. And hits it wide of the left-hand post.
Better.
Much better.
Picked up by Nico Williams, can shoot, he does, and it just goes over the bar from 25 yards, right footed, just always a little too high.
Yeah, better last 2 or 3 minutes. Wales threatening.
Ramsey onto his right foot, has to turn, then plays it into Dan James. Oh, he should have burst into the box. Now he tries to go in the box. Crosses left footed. Keeper Moore header. Keeper Moore goal for Wales. James's cross. Moore's downward header. He's made the breakthrough. It's Wales 1, Latvia 0.
10th goal for his country. What Wales needed. Full second half commentary on the way here on Radio Wales Sport. Yes, welcome back. Wales 1-0 up against Latvia. Kiefer Moore, the hero so far. Gareth Bale approved, watching in the stands as the substitutes now warm up. A couple of those trying to make their impressions on Rob Page and possibly win a debut. Ollie Cooper among them, and there were also some stars of the future on the field here at Cardiff City Stadium a little bit earlier. A successful under-17 side whose draw with Montenegro earlier saw them qualify for the European Championships this summer. It is the first time Wales have qualified for the under-17s Championships. It's the first time Wales have qualified for a youth finals since 1981 and the days of Mark Hughes. A very proud man, a very happy man is standing alongside us in the commentary position here. It's Dave Adams, Chief of Football at the Football Association of Wales, Technical Director. You can choose your term, Dave, whatever you fancy.
Today I can, definitely, yeah.
Look, a successful day. You were there at Dragon Park to watch the game. Stars of the future there, very happy.
Yeah, very happy. It's been a really good week for the youth teams. Getting to a finals tournament is fantastic. I mean, it's all about cap accumulation and giving players exposure, and playing the finals tournament is obviously fantastic for young player development. So we're all about giving players an opportunity. We can see obviously in the stands tonight a few players we hope get on the pitch. Luke Harris, obviously Jordan James got capped against Croatia, and we hope that we can get some young players on the pitch and give them some exposure at senior level. And that's kind of our job in the association, to make sure we get the right games programme, the right opportunities for players, and give them a pathway that Rob Page obviously is really keen to promote in our programme.
A couple of players already catching the eye in Gabriel Biancheri, who's just moved to Manchester United, Ewan Morgan, who's making a big impression at Swansea City. How long before they capture the fans in front of the red wall?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, Jordan James is 18 years old, 2004 for example, so you never know with these opportunities. You know, we're playing Hungary now in the finals tournament. It's an unbelievable shot window against the best 16 teams in Europe. If these players perform well in that tournament, who knows, it could be very, very quick. It could be September. It's very hard to predict in some ways, but all you can do really is give players the opportunity, the platform, and we're doing that pretty well, I think.
I think the big worry for a lot of fans, we had a lot of talk about the golden generation, so many of whom, including a certain Mr. Bale, have now retired. Are nights like these or days like these enough to reassure supporters that Welsh football is working to produce more? It wasn't just a freakish one-off.
Yeah, I think so. We've obviously invested significant resources in our programme, from sort of regional age, like JJ for example started in our regional programme, Luke Harris started in our regional programme at 13, 14 years old. These boys have been in our system for 4 or 5 years now, so I guess we've recognised that we need to invest for succession planning of elite players. We have to invest in the programme. You've got to give players the right training, the right environment, and we hope we're doing that really well. So I'm very, very confident we continue to be successful.
It's certainly paying off so far. Obviously your remit is wider. I know, speaking to Nuon Mooney, the chief executive before, that you had a meeting after the World Cup to try and forge a way forward for Rob Page. Are you happy with how things have gone and the plans for the future?
Yeah, definitely. Rob's been very open to obviously the small changes and adjustments based on what we did in the World Cup, and it's all been very positive on this camp, so far so good.
Let's hope it continues. Dave Adams, Chief of Football of the Football Association of Wales, thank you very much for your time. All the best. Yes, it's paying off on the pitch for the under-17s today, who qualify for the European finals this summer. It's paying off for Rob Page. 1-0 up against Latvia. Should remind you, it is half-time in Bursa. Croatia lead Turkey by 2-0 in the other Group D game. In the National League, Wrexham's title rivals Notts County are 1-0 up away at Altrincham. It will be enough to take them top. Right. Teams are in the tunnel. I must say you as well that Wales lock Gwen Crabb is being ruled out of the rest of the women's Six Nations with a knee injury suffered in that win over Ireland on Saturday. Wales take on Scotland this weekend, and there's a big story regarding Llanelli in the Welsh Premiership you want to check out on the BBC Sport Wales website. They have withdrawn from competition next season, saying the side, the club I should say, will be unable to field a team due to extra games coupled with player unavailability. More on that story on Radio Wales Breakfast tomorrow and on the BBC Sport Wales website, hopefully tomorrow on Radio Wales Breakfast. We will be reflecting on a Wales win against Latvia. They need by a goal to nil. Very quickly, Helen Ward, what do you expect from the start of the second half? More of the same from Wales as Latvia prepare to make a change?
Yeah, I think so. I think Wales will probably be the side that would have wanted that half to continue. They had forced the corner, unfortunately didn't have time to take it just at the end of the half there. So I think they've got the momentum going with it. I'm sure the Latvian manager would have had a few words to his team in the half-time break, telling them not to lose their heads, because if they do that then they could be in trouble, I think. But Wales will come out very much of the same, lots of energy, potentially make a few changes again, try and bring on some fresh legs to keep that energy high throughout the second half.
Finally about to get the second half away. Aaron Ramsey's been waiting for the ball. Wait no longer. Second half commentary brought to you by Helen Ward, Nathan Blake and our football correspondent Rob Phillips.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that Wales hadn't scored a first half goal in 6 games as we kick off the second half. Well, I shall also mention that Wales' last 4 wins have come when they've led at half time. We shall see if that record continues. At the moment, it's just about a perfect evening. They are leading, and Croatia are leading 2-0 in Turkey. Now, Latvia showed enough to know that, brilliant play by Chris Mepham then to get out of trouble. Moore is down on one leg in the centre circle as Latvia continue down in the middle. They're playing from left to right this time.
He's struggling a little bit, I think. Don't know if he's just taken one down the Achilles.
I wonder whether somebody trod on his toe, actually, Helen Ward and Nathan Blake alongside me. We're a minute into the second half on Radio Wales and 5 Sport Extra. Euro 2024 qualifying, Group D. Yeah, Kiefer Moore definitely troubled by something.
Yeah, he's just running it off now, Rob.
Yeah, I think he is, yeah. So Wales unchanged in this second half. Ward in goal, Roberts, Mepham, Roden and Williams, Ampadu, Morel, Wilson and James wide, Ramsey playing as a 10, wearing number 10, and the goal scorer Kiefer Moore. As James nicked in on halfway. It could be 3 against 2 if Wales play it well. Moore down the right hand side now. James has gone in the box. Moore tried to cross, should be the other way around, really.
It was a bit back to front, that, wasn't it?
Yeah. His back out for a throw.
And he did look over his shoulder for someone to give it to so he could get in the box. But again, just one man in the box, and Ramsey's at the edge of the box. Wales just need to get a few more men forward for me.
It was lively again from Dan James, though. You can
Brilliant
see
play.
The difference in his mentality, front foot, winning the ball in a good area and bursting forward. But as you said, just not enough bodies getting forward at the end of it.
Should tell you, Vladislav Sorokins, who was playing down the right side, has been replaced by Revis Djurkovskis for Latvia, as James has rushed back to get ahead of his man again, Savalniks, and win the ball back for Wales in his own half.
He's like a different player, isn't he?
He is. Amazing, isn't it? What a bit of confidence will do. Ramsey now to Williams on halfway. James waits on this near touchline in front of the grandstand where we sit. Ramsey on the ball again. Ampadu slides it forward to Moore. Moore just rushed off it that time. And Orsh this time complains that he was taken out by Kiefer Moore. Free kick, Latvia. And it's 1-0 Wales. Kiefer Moore's 10th goal for his country.
Very good goal as well, Rob. Looked easy, made it look easy.
Did, he had a lot to do with the header, but there's the free kick. Well, it's taken by Orsh. He's driven straight out to play on the right side in front of my favourite Welsh flag. Eat more chips, says the big Welsh flags here on the bottom of the Ninian stand there. If you're listening, obviously you can't see it, but
I can
Helen
see
Ward
it,
and Nathan Blake can't. Well, Helen Ward can. It's a bit far for Nathan Blake sometimes. We love each other, really. Here's Williams down the left-hand side, driving over halfway. Nico Williams and Nottingham Forest. James up ahead. James can cross, pulls it back onto his right foot. Now he lays it back for Williams, edge of the penalty area. Williams darts into the box, right for his shot. Oh, it's pushed onto the crossbar by Steinbors. That was flying in from Nico Williams, who gets a round of applause from his manager.
Yeah, and that's what I love to see, Rob. Good interchange between him and Dan James. Dan James involved again, playing really well.
Oh, that is some save though. He's absolutely rifled that. Really good save onto the bar. Credit where credit's due there.
We'll start the second half as they finish the first. Corner right hand side, going to be swung in left footed, headed up in the air. It's going to come back out to Harry Wilson. Takes a touch slightly behind him, but he has support from Joe Morrell. Now Wilson again, infield to James. James through to Wilson in the box, shoots, goalkeeper saves at his near post. Steinbors, two Fulham players combining then, and the ball's gone out for a play for another Wales throw. Helen Ward.
Yeah, that was nice. Again, Dan James, we said just now, he's like a different player. Little chip pass, lovely ball into the path of Harry Wilson. Good technique, gets good contact. Decent save again from the goalkeeper, but it's been a really bright start from Wales in this second half.
Second for Notts County at Altrincham. They will be going, that's their 103rd goal of the season, which is a National League record. But the way that title race is going, it's going to be a formidable National League record by the time they both finished. And on Monday, April the 10th, Easter Monday, it's Wrexham against Notts County. Radio World Sport live from the racecourse. James now, left-hand side, tried to cut it inside. Breaks to Nico Williams again, this time on his left foot, and it was blocked.
Just got away from him, didn't it, at the end?
Fancies his chances. Latvia clear the ball away, but straight to Mepham. Slides it down the right side to Roberts. Goes past his man down that far side. And actually wins the throw.
It's bright, really, really bright this first, 5 minutes or so.
And what we know is if they start to run at a puff, we've got energy on the bench, as it showed on Saturday. But Wilson won't want to come off at the moment as he finds James, his Fulham clubmate, just on the edge of the box, floats it across, looking for Moore. Moore wasn't able to get there that time. Latvia clear, but only as far as Ampadu, who's the holding midfield player. Roberts pulls wide on that right side again. And they slow it down once more, but they're keeping the ball moving on Wales. And it's Roden who's free in the centre circle. Cantonen get behind them. James once more. Foot race to the byline, low cross into the box. Comes back out to James. Kept it in on the far side. Just about kept it. The Cantonen thought that had gone out for a corner. Of course, the assistant's on the wrong side to see that. And then Roden is pulled back. And get this now, Scotland, Scott McTominay has got his 4th goal in 3 days, and Scotland are leading the mighty Spain by 2-0.
Home nations are back, baby. We're back. Come on.
Yeah.
That's some scoreline, that.
Brilliant.
It is.
Let's give Dan James some credit, though. To say, making the game so easy for himself tonight. We've spoken about it before the game. You and I have spoken about it many times, Rob. He just goes outside the defender, what he's capable of doing.
Ramsey was called late there, and I don't know whether the referee didn't see it, but that was an obvious foul. And surely, I think Tony Roberts, the Wales goalkeeping coach, is saying, well, come on then, 4th official, help out your referee. Rob Page is saying the same in slightly more stronger terms, I would suggest.
The linesman, surely. One of them's got to see it.
Yeah, it was a foul by Savalniks well after the ball had gone. Ramsey gets up, he's okay, thoroughly enjoying his football in Nice now.
Good Tovskis should have been booked in the first half, shouldn't he?
Yeah, they've got away with a couple, haven't they, Latvia?
They've gone away with about 3 or 4, Rob.
Going back to Dan James though, I mean he's always known he's got the backing of Rob Page, because he's almost a guaranteed starter in this team, and he's earned that in the past. But the difference is when you start losing that belief in yourself, no matter what any coaches or teammates are saying to you. If you lose that belief in yourself, it becomes really difficult to play. But you can see tonight he's got that back in abundance, and he's really making the most of it, and he's probably Wales' most dangerous player at this moment in time.
Yeah, we were saying over in Croatia, we've said many times, Helen, just go on the outside. He's made his life so easy today. You know, the defender can't live with him. Not many people are going to be able to live with that pace.
No.
And swing it in, because he can put it in a half decent ball with his left foot, as he's shown tonight. So just keep burning him down the outside until he gives you so much space that you can go inside, outside, whatever.
Ball in field, cut out by Roden, just inside the Wales half. Williams turns away. He did. He sent everybody the wrong way then.
He sent the centre forward for chips.
He did.
Chippy Lane.
John Salt on those.
He's in Chippy Lane with chicken and curry.
Inside his own half. He's been full of it today. Tonight, Nico Williams. They've loved it down this left side. He's on the ball again with his partner Dan James just up ahead. And the aforementioned Savalniks looking quietly scared every time they come down that side.
Yeah, I see it.
Wilson has made a run in behind. Oh, lovely turn. Can't find the red shoe with a cross from inside the penalty area, though.
Rambo's got to get in there for me. I think Harry Wilson's done brilliantly, but there's only Kiefer Moore, Dan James at the back post. I think Ramsey's got to make a run inside the box rather than hanging out on the edge.
Williams still going, arcing run towards the penalty area. Goes wide again to Roberts. It's a tried and trusted method in this game. Wilson darts past his man into the penalty area, lays it back for Ramsey. 3 Welsh players on that right hand side, leave it to Wilson, who shoots and wide of the far post.
Yeah, great play again, really good positive play. I still think though the 2 sitting midfielders, I think one of them could sit there on one of the strikers. 2 centre backs got the other striker. I think Ethan or Joe Morrell can really step in there, which will allow Ramsey to step forward a bit more.
Roden back pass to so far underworked Danny Ward, but you can't say he hasn't played his part. Lovely touch by Connor Roberts as the ball came over his left shoulder from Ward's sliced ballooned clearance, and he took it down in one and headed forward. There's one throwing on halfway in front of a packed Ninian stand. It really is good to see. 30-odd thousand here, sell out. And 29,000 of those have been sold before the Croatia game. So it wasn't just that astonishing draw in Split that has attracted them tonight. And they didn't know about Gareth Bale getting a farewell until yesterday, so that wasn't part of it either. It's just enthusiasm for this event.
Machine,
yeah, it is.
Rob.
It's an event now, isn't it? Not just a game. Ramsey outside of his right boot. He may pick up the second ball. Has the possession just nicked off him. And good ball down this near side for Kutovskis. Takes on Roden. Kutovskis into the penalty area, sends Roden one way then the other. Ward has to save with his feet at the near post, not cleared by the Welsh defence. It is now by Morrell to Ramsey. Moore has made a run out on halfway, goes wide, picks it up, drives down the far side, pulled back that time by Chernomordis, and he's going to get a booking, the second Latvia player. And there's another Latvian sub in the offing. So Alvis Jaunzems, right back, is replacing Yanis Ikauniks. Helen Ward.
Yeah, another scare up this end, and you know, I was thinking how much the boys look like they're enjoying it out there, but you can't be fooled into thinking that the game's done by any means, because one moment of quality from the number 9 for Latvia, and he's got a shot off at goal and it's another save. So they have to be careful, but the ball's gone up the other end. Kiefer Moore's done excellently well to win a free kick, and I think that number 5 is fortunate that he didn't get booked in the first half, so yeah. He has been now.
Wilson chips a high ball over James on the byline. It bounced up and just glanced off his head and out for a goal kick. But you could see what Wilson was trying playing then. There was method in that.
Yeah, for sure. But again, it's that ball that's curling away from players, and you know, the bounce kills Dan James there, and he's probably not the player you want on the end of a header necessarily. But it was a nice idea, and Wales just need to get a foothold in the game again, settle down, try and get that second goal, because I think that will kill off this Latvia team. But as we saw on Saturday, the longer it stays 1-0, the longer Latvia will think they've got a chance.
They will be thinking like Wales, won't they? We're on Saturday in Split. Morel on halfway. Threatens to go one way, then goes wide to Roberts on the right. Now to the Roden and Mepham, who've seen a lot of the ball. Carries it forward is Mepham. Short ball to Morel.
Once Mepham carries it forward, then it should really release Ethan Ampadu or Joe Morel. They should be able to get on the ball, create a 2v1 against their 10.
Williams, Ampadu around the corner, swings it forward, down the left, header back inside. Ramsey almost got there, just taken away from him. Wales will pick up possession on halfway. Roden made it his.
I think he's tried one there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, yeah. Out for a throw-in. A couple of the Wales subs are warming up, including Nathan Broadhead, Sorba Thomas. Nathan Broadhead, who's etched his name in Welsh football history with that 93rd minute goal on Saturday. To transform a game, to transform a trip, to maybe transform Wales's prospects. Williams picks up their throw-in, being forced back towards his own byline, manages to get back to Danny Ward. He's fouled though by Jaunzems. And it's 1-0 Wales. Nathan Blake.
Yeah, just in a bit of a lull, aren't we, Rob? Just need a moment or two to happen again. I'll keep repeating it, but playing with 4 men in advance, really and truly. Wilson, Ramsey, James, and the big man up front. Just like to see another player joining in from the wide position and from midfield.
I wonder whether a debut for Ollie Cooper might not go amiss, just to add a bit of attacking sort of impetus. Carries the ball forward from deeper positions to challenge the penalty area.
I might be being a bit harsh on Aaron Ramsey here, but I feel with the front four he's probably impacted the game the least so far, and I think just because of the expectations we have on him as a player, we know how good he can be.
Oh, Ramsey was caught in the face then. Sorry, Helen.
That's okay.
By Juzins.
Yeah, I was just saying, I just think he's got so much ability on the ball, but he's almost playing within himself, and he's got such a goal scoring threat. We saw, you know, so many times in the past where he times that run into the box and gets on the end of things, and you know, he's decent in the air, he can finish, and I just think he's almost like he's holding something back, and I'm not sure why, because this sort of game it should be him all over. Yes, there's not massive amounts of space in that area of the pitch, but when we saw him in the first half make those corner flag runs where he can get into the spaces between full-backs and centre-backs, that's where he can cause so much danger, but he hasn't really done that in the second half.
Spoken like a true coach. Look at that. Full rundown.
Your level 2 for you.
Ward's clearance goes off the back of a Latvian defender. Should be cleared now. They go short, so Wales can put the press on. Ampadu is leading that, and they get out of that pretty well. They get out of it very well, actually. And down that left side is the substitute Jakovskis, charging up to the Wales penalty area. Wilson's got goal side. Mepham had to deal with the cross from the left-hand side, right-footed. Ramsey driven back into his own penalty area. He's under pressure as the Wales captain. He won't panic, just doesn't want to lose the ball. Almost does, and then clears it up. The Moore, who should, is being held. How did the linesman? Well, actually, the linesman's up the other end. And Ramsey has left Gutkowskis down in a heap in the penalty area. Mepham clears.
I think we're going to see one of the centre-backs going off in a Keeper Moore shirt by the end of the game.
He obviously wants to swap early, doesn't he? 19 minutes into the second half, 1-0 Wales. Still nail-biting, you have to say, while it is 1-0 on Radio Well Sport and 5 Sport Extra. Latvian fans in good voice to our right, not too many of them, but they're making their presence felt. Oh, chance here, and that was a big interception and challenge by Nico Williams as the Gutkovskis had recovered dramatically and tried to turn on it just inside the Wales penalty area, and this time Williams has gone down injured.
Yeah, he did really well there. For a split
brilliant.
second he'd let him go, but he realised his mistake and he stepped in, managed to just get a block in. Don't know if he's just twisted his ankle or something, but he looks okay, thankfully. He hasn't had the physio on, but yeah, really good recovery challenge there from Nico Williams.
Second goal would not make a difference, wouldn't it?
I think we just settle everything down, Rob. I think we'd probably go up, you know, a level or two, maybe even 3. Just need that now. Midpoint of this second half. Just need that goal just to settle us down.
When will the changes be made? Do you think there will be changes in the offing?
Probably later on if we need a bit of zest and legs, but like I say, the way we're playing it, it's even though we're playing okay, playing well today, it's still very rigid.
Wilson now just squeezes the ball wide to Roberts, cross into the box. James came scurrying in. Wilson's been left writhing in agony just outside the penalty area. Ball play goes on around him. Now he's up on his feet. He felt the challenge as he threatened to pull the trigger. Well, Latvia has shown a bit more ambition going forward, but that ball is chested down by Connor Roberts. Knocks it past Morel, but Ampadu picks it up. Tall, elegant midfield player playing in Spezia in Italy. Williams down the left side, onto his right foot, just outside the penalty area. James takes over. James thinks about crossing, but it's a bit too square from that angle. So Wales...
The crowd getting frustrated at the fact that Wales don't seem to be going for it.
Yeah, they get to a certain point with good pace and then it all slows down and we end up going backwards again.
And Moore's layoff doesn't find a red shirt, but then the clearance almost comes to Rams. Just beaten to it is the Wales captain. His 79th cap tonight, so he moves above Craig Bellamy. Well clear Craig Bellamy, 7th overall in the Wales Golden Caps list. Wants to get to 100.
If he can keep himself fit, then there's absolutely no reason why that can't happen.
Yeah. 6th in the all-time Wales goal list and 7th in the cap list. He's on the ball now. Plays it forward for James, who is lightning quick. Does catch pigeons and just about stops the ball going up for a goal kick. But it'll be a Latvia throw in their right back position, a yard away from the corner flag. Wales went to sleep a bit then.
Yeah, they've got out far too easily there.
Yeah, they did. Latvia moved forward. Nico Williams makes the block again. James there. Oh, I thought he was bundled over. Free kick not given, and Ampadu steps in with a tackle which ricochets the ball towards Danny Ward.
Yeah, if Wales can just keep this ball moving, Rob, you can see the Latvia players, they are tiring for sure. Last 10 minutes, the game should really open up.
Now there's a bit of a coaching conference going on the side with Rob Page, Alan Nill and Eric Ramsey. Just onto the staff, of course, in the break. And Eric Ramsey's waving. You see they were going down in height there, weren't they? Nill, Page, Ramsey in that order. Nill being the tallest. Looks like Croatia hero Nathan Broadhead has been called to the bench to have a look at the little tablet where they show what to do on free kicks. Score, I think. Does it take much more than that? Just score.
Yeah.
Shoot and score.
A lot more than that, Rob.
All right, okay. What do I know? Wilson.
I don't know why he tried to go that side of the defender there.
Yeah, it was an ambitious ball, wasn't it? When there was one wide easy. Giving the ball away now. But Latvia have to start from their own half again. This time Roden and Mepham deal with it. and the retreating Roberts wins the ball back for Wales. And now Ramsey has a bit of space, but quickly cut down, but it leaves Williams in space down the left. James is central at the moment, so Nico Williams has to do it by himself. Low cross towards the penalty area, ricochets off the marker and out for a Wales throw. Another Latvian substitute, and it's Renas Vaslavians, and he is replacing Andrej Ziganic. And there is a Wales substitute, and it is, I suggested, you wait till the crowd realise who it is. You'd have to wait for Wales to take this throw, which they've done. Williams, not much room down this left side, little step over, crosses from the near side, not cleared by the Latvian defence initially, but the ricochet could have gone anywhere. Instead it went to a white shirt. Mepham has to get that ball forward, and does. Chests it down to Wilson. Ampadu back to Roden. They've got control of the ball again as Nathan Broadhead waits to make his second appearance for his country with a goal already under his belt. He looked absolutely shell-shocked.
Yeah, I fancy him to get a second tonight. I have to say, I really do.
Yeah, he'll be itching to get on. It's a really good game for a player like him to come on into, especially on the high that he's come off of Saturday.
Who's coming off then? Silence on my right.
Maybe Wilson.
Yeah, possibly. Williams on halfway on Radio L Sport and 5 Sport Extra. Good ball by Mepham, gets Roberts charging forward. Roberts onto his left foot, so he leaves it to Morel. Morel, centre field, goes towards the penalty area. Ball gets away from him, but Mepham follows up to feed Roberts. Good cross into the box. Can't find keeper more that time though. Headed out to the side from whence it came.
Again, there's nobody going across the front post.
Well, it's 3v. They got 6 defenders, and we only got 3 men in the box. Absolutely, hell, need to get more people in and around that 6-yard area.
We're into the last 20 minutes.
It's where you need. I mean, it's not the sort of run that's going to be suited to Kiefer Moore, because you want him attacking the ball, but that means you need a midfielder, like you said, to burst in across that front post to disrupt the goalkeeper, disrupt the defenders.
100%.
It's not necessarily to get on the end of the ball, but it causes havoc, and then that would allow someone like Kiefer to get on the ball.
It's the unselfish run, isn't it?
Have we got enough protection to take off Morel or Ampadu, do you think?
Well, they don't even have to take them off, Rob. You can still play them as holding midfielders, but just be a bit braver, step into the more advanced position sometimes. You know, you're recycling the ball so much. Every time it comes out to the centre forward, there's 2 centre halves around him and 2 centre midfielders in front of him. So, you know, I'm sure three defenders can cope with 1 player.
And it's Daniel James who makes way. And it's a while, I have to say, since this Welsh crowd have stood and applauded Daniel James so warmly, but my word, doesn't he deserve it. Set up the goal, and Daniel James makes way for the new Welsh hero, Nathan Broadhead of Ipswich Town, former Everton player and goal scorer in Croatia. There we are, now they know who it is. Nathan Blake.
No, Nathan Broadhead, you mean?
You're supposed to pay tribute to Dan James then, by the way.
Oh, we just did. We just said he's had a really good game.
Second tribute, I mean.
Best game we've seen him have in a long time, and, you know, deserves the ovation.
That'll do. Play yourself out of a hole then. Still 1-0. Mepham. On the right side again is Connor Roberts. He's had fun tonight on that far side. Having fun at Burnley as well, storming their way back to the Premier League. Even Craig Bellamy might smile when he goes back if Wales can pick up 4 points in 2 games.
Bellas don't smile.
No, I was going to say
just turns his front lip up.
But I had a chat with Connor on Saturday after the game, and he did say, wow, the knowledge Craig Bellamy has of football is phenomenal. Good ball by Williams up to Kiefer Moore. Broadhead nutmegged his marker and then gets pulled down. Welcome to international football, Nathan.
Lovely touch from Kiefer Moore. Did really well there to bring that in under control, and a nice little nutmeg. That will suit him. That will set him up for the rest of the game.
He wasn't on long enough to get fouled on Saturday, was he?
Didn't need to be.
No, quite.
He was long enough to score. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. Helen Ward and Nathan Blake alongside me as we head to the last 15 minutes of the Cardiff City Stadium, where Latvia are proving a tough nut to crack, but Wales do have the lead. Given to them by Kiefer Moore just before half-time. There's a light show going on at the moment. People hold their mobile phones up. Not sure people in the Canton end have been told about this. Here come Latvia. Good cross into the box. Ward has to get it, and does, from Savelnieks.
Good cross, wasn't it? Danny Ward just plucked it out of the air, made it look so easy.
He did really well. Looked really calm and controlled.
He did. He's had a good game tonight. Important saves at times, and nice and calm, like you say, Helen.
Wilson just inside the Latvia half.
I think the crowd have sensed that they need a little bit of a lift. There's been a bit of a lull, hasn't there?
They have. Here's Ramsey though, left side. Goes back onto his right, brings in Nico Williams. Is he going to shoot? He does! Always pulled it wide though from about 23 yards, skimmer along the deck.
He's difficult to pick up in that position. He's had 2 or 3 now. I think he'll be disappointed with that one. Tried something different, trying to reverse it into the near post, but it just drags it. But he's a threat in there.
He's got 2 goals for his country. But at the moment, 1 is enough from Kiefer Moore. Neckham,
that's a challenge.
Powerful challenge. He left a bit on Gutkoskis. Free kick Latvia inside the centre circle.
Yeah, any opportunity now, isn't it? They're just going to load the box. Wales need to be on their toes here, defend well, win second balls if they don't win the first.
Well, Dries is an obvious target, but they've got Nico Williams marking him at the moment. They do win the first header, and Uldries is on the ball, but Nico Williams steps in to come away with possession as Jaunzems threatened to shoot from just inside the penalty area. Nowhere for Williams to go, so he turns away, makes space for himself. Crossfield ball out to Roberts, touched back by Mepham, just outside his penalty area. It's cool play by Wales. It's the best we've seen Wales play for quite some time, I would suggest. Possibly since Austria.
Yeah, it's been composed for the most part.
Ward looked for Roberts, didn't find him. Wilson stepped in. Amadou goes to ground, no foul. Crowd warn Mepham that there's a defender approaching from behind. The busy Morel gets it wide for Wales. Ramsey now ambles forward down the left to Broadhead. Back to Ramsey again. Kiefer Moore's made a run. Instead he goes inside to Morel. Morel floats it out to Roberts right hand side. He's got Wilson inside him. Now Wilson makes the run to the byline. Just overhit by Connor Roberts. Out for a goal kick. Still 1-0.
There's so much space in this game, especially in the final third. You say Latvia are getting tired now.
That was a nice driven pass by Morel. I think a couple of times we've tried the switch and it's been a bit too loopy, a bit too floaty, but that was nice. Driven right into the feet of Connor Roberts, but just put too much on that pass. But it was the right sort of run and the right idea.
Yeah, you don't mind if the execution isn't there. Just want the idea and the vision to be taken advantage of, and that was a great ball.
Good interception that time by Broadhead as the ball ricochets to Williams. Mepham looks for Connor Roberts, and they've worked it well out of an awkward defensive spot. Williams, they're just making Latvia run from side to side, aren't they? not always going too far.
Yeah, kind of like us against Croatia. That's what's worrying me. Need to get that second goal, Rob. And take 1-0, but you don't want to be...
Lovely pass by Wilson into Roberts as the anthem strikes up from the Canton end. Williams thought about driving the rebound left-footed. Ramsey edge of the box. Little darting run out to the left. Infield to Broadhead. White and Nico Williams. Broadhead goes on the overlap. Williams goes inside to his captain. Now Broadhead has a chance to cross from the left. Fancies a little dart towards the penalty area. Lays it back for Nico Williams, edge of the box. Hits it. That did take a deflection and it swerved up and over for a Wales corner. Still 1-0 as we approach 80 minutes, Helen Ward.
I've never seen a left back have so many attempts from the same part of the pitch. It's good again, a little bit more urgency about that one, and it's led to a corner. Just needs one more moment to put this game to bed.
Ramsey plays it to the edge of the box for Wilson. Ramsey still free, but Broadhead with a cross. Look for Roden, who came in. Well, he couldn't get there, and it bounced up for Steinbors, the goalkeeper, to collect. Still 1-0.
I like that, it was inventive. You know, when you're up against a big team like Latvia, that sort of corner set-piece routine is what could lead to a good chance. And nice interchange between Ramsey, Wilson and Broadhead. Good ball towards the back post, but just couldn't get anything on it.
Roden punts away a low header. Ramsey can't get the second ball though. And forward come Latvia again with Djukovic. I think the linesman has flagged for a Latvia throw. Djukovskis played for Dundalk in 2021 before joining Riga. There's another Latvian sub in the offing. He's tall as well. It's like the land of the giants, isn't it?
Up against you.
Well, I'm just saying. I didn't know this, but Latvia must be really tall people. I do know that they've got the highest female to male ratio of any European country.
Of course they have.
I've been waiting to use that.
Yeah, clearly.
But I still got one other gem up my sleeve. I'll keep you on tenterhooks like we are now as we go into the 81st minute. And that throw in, well, Roberts was under pressure, but he headed the ball out from where it came. There's two more Latvian subs, and the cross goes into the box, and Ward, that's what you want. That's almost greeted as well as a goal, because he came really out to collect.
Really good, really confident. But again, it's that in-swinging cross, isn't it? It makes his life a bit easier. It was still a wonderful take from Danny Ward, to take nothing away from him, but we mentioned it from a Wales point of view before. It's a difficult cross to attack.
And Wales have lost it again, and Latvia having the better of the last 5 minutes or so. Threatening through ball, goes up for a goal kick, and now they can make two more changes. Alexei Speliev, who's a midfield player, is coming on, as is and I think it's Uldrich who has gone, and he's been replaced by Raymond Proyas, who Ethan Ampadu will know. He's a teammate at Spezia with him. So he's gone up front. They're really going for it now. Latvia, they've got nothing to lose. They're trailing 1-0 and they're looking to do a Wales. 83 minutes on the clock, still work for Wales to do. Good header on by Kiefer Moore, nice touch by Ramsey to Broadhead, and then he leaves his defender as he heads towards the byline down the left hand side. Turns back though, does Ramsey, gets support from Williams. Williams goes on the outside as well, then he runs into traffic, but Ampadu will pick up the attempted clearance, plays it out to Roberts, 8 acres of space down the right side, a little deeper this time though. And he went for Wilson, and they made a mess of that, but then so did Latvia with the clearance, picked up by Roden on halfway. Every Latvia player back in their own half at the moment. Juzins is the other player who's gone off. And still no more subs yet from Wales. Maybe he just leaves it now, Nathan Blake. to see out the last 7 minutes or so.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that, Rob. So none of the players are looking too tired or out on their feet or anything from a Welsh perspective, so just don't disrupt it.
You don't get so tired, do you, when you've got possession? The amount of possession will... Oh, Morel has just lost it, just on the edge of the penalty area. Danger here for Wales. The roar will tell you that Vaslavians from Valmiera has just thundered the ball over the top. The official attendance tonight, 32,806. The red wall here in numbers again, and so far enjoying what they see. Except for about 4 who are leaving just to our left. Plus they've got to get to work. You never know, do you? Not many leaving though. It's too nerve-wracking. Because anything can happen. Great by Wilson to dive in with a header then to keep Wales in possession in midfield. It's now at the back with Nico Williams, who's seen plenty of the ball. Right-footed ball forward. Broadhead will chase this. Goalkeeper's going to get there first, does he? No! It just drifted away from him, and so Steinbors headed it out.
He did really well there, because I think he thought that was coming into his area. He realised he had to go for it with his head, and he did well to clear the danger. But a nice ball from Nico Williams, trying to threaten him behind.
I think it was the leg spin that did him. 5 minutes to go.
It's just something different, wasn't it?
Was.
Nico really passed forward.
Roberts again, right hand side, as again Wilson is up there. And Wilson is crashed into, but Latvia get the free kick.
Yeah, I think, in fairness, I think Harry was the wrong side. I think he's put his leg across, but he's from behind, so...
It's a bit of 6 or 1 half a dozen, I feel. They both sort of went for it. Neither of them had the ball under control.
Yeah.
Vaslavians got the decision. 1-0 Wales lead. We've got a vital few minutes left now. This could make all the difference if they can hold out here. Zawalniks much happier going forward. We've got the ball within distance of the Wales penalty area, about 10-15 yards away. Low cross into the box, thumped away by Mepham, coming back towards the Wales defence though. Cross into the penalty area, Mepham just got the touch, pulled down by Broadhead, fires it up towards Moore, slipped in the centre circle. I think he is looking tired now, Kiefer Moore.
Yeah, I think he wanted that one into the channel.
Yeah.
He's not blessed with pace, but he had the run on the defender, and it just needed to clear that first line of defence.
Shot for handball not given. Far post ball. Nico Williams got up really well.
Yeah, really good
to concede the corner, and they will be dangerous because they are such a tall team, Latvia. They do have height at set pieces.
This is a really key time for Wales. They need to hold their own. Nothing silly. Make sure they're marking up properly and competing for that first contact, which the couple of corners in the first half they didn't do well enough.
Zawalniks in his 50th cap to take this right-sided corner. Headed away by Roden, headed back into the Wales penalty area, and then it's driven high, wide and not too handsome by the substitute Romans Krollis.
It's a really dangerous corner and brilliant defending by Roden.
He's done all right tonight, hasn't he, Roden?
I think him and Mepham have both been really good. Yeah, they've formed quite a nice partnership, the two of them. You know, considering they're used to having someone like Ben Davis alongside them to guide them and lead the way, they've had to come into their own. I know they've got a lot of experience now between them. They've got a nice partnership and it's worked well. They've looked strong against a tough opponent in Latvia in terms of their height and strength. I think they've dealt with it really well.
2 minutes plus added time to go here at the Cardiff City Stadium. It's 1-0 Wales on Radio Wales Sport and 5 Sport Extra. Just such key minutes in the group for Wales, who win a throw-in from Ward's clearance. Williams ambles to take this free kick, running the clock down a little more. With all the subs, I'd say there'll be at least 3-4 minutes of added time. Williams, long throw up the near side, helped on by Kiefer Moore, bounces off a Latvian defender, further back towards their own byline, cleared away, and they pick up the header on halfway. Mepham is on the deck, Roden steps in, finds Morel to Broadhead, just clips it into the middle. Very well played, and Wilson will slow it down while Ampadu gets up on his feet. He's put the ball out, actually, Harry Wilson, to allow Ampadu to recover. I might be wrong, but I thought I saw someone suggest 3 minutes of added time on the side.
I'll take that, Rob.
But I might be wrong. I know, it's astonishing to think.
I was going to say that would be the first I've known since I've known you.
Anyway, in case we run out of time, you'll want to know that Latvia was the birthplace of jeans. It wasn't Levi Strauss who invented jeans. It was one Jacob W. Davis with an I in 1872. Helen Ward, your life will be more fulfilled on the back of doing this commentary with us, won't it?
Always, Rob. It always is. I come away from working with you full of knowledge and happiness every time.
And there you are, you're not wrong, Rob. You just
3 minutes.
Genius. Absolute genius.
A moment of history, right on that, and then somebody will write in and say, well, actually, you're wrong on the jeans.
Jeans, flags, minutes.
Yeah. There will be another substitution, and it'll be a special one for the Cooper family, because Ollie Cooper of Swansea City, his dad Kevin, both a mentor and a really good player as a youngster when he played. Ollie Cooper is about to come on to earn his first cap as the ball goes into the Wales penalty area, and Danny Ward gets it and then theatrically dives to the ground as if he's digging for oil and stays there for a few seconds just to run the clock down.
There's a couple of really good bits of defending again there from Rodon and first from Mepham, where they've shielded their attacker, stopped them from getting on the ball and allowed either a clearance from another player or for Ward to come and collect it. But it's smart defending.
Aaron Ramsey, the captain, makes way as he did on Saturday, but this time with only injury time, 2 minutes of injury time to play, and he makes way for Ollie Cooper, Swansea City midfield player who's been in fine form this season, and he becomes the 7th new international since Rob Page took the helm. He also picked Josh Sheehan and Brennan Johnson, but they were actually selected originally by Ryan Giggs.
I hate to say it, but that's made me nervous because it's got too many similarities to the weekend's game.
Oh yeah, when
the Welsh number 10 and captain comes off in injury time.
Now there's a long throw.
Don't say it, and there's a long throw.
Don't do it.
I'm hoping that I've jinxed it for a good reason.
Wales want to get another player on as well, Ben Cabango, but they're going to have to wait for this long throw to be taken. Headed away. Cooper gets his first touch. He'll chase the possession down now, as will Broadhead, who made his debut on Saturday. Header into the Wales penalty towards the Wales 6-yard box, and the big defender Chernomordis was up there, but Danny Ward has safely collected it. I think Ben Cabango, another Swansea City player, is going to come on just to add a bit more defensive ballast. It's a good word, isn't it? Ballast?
It's a good word. I've never heard it before, but I'm going to trust that you've used it in the right context.
I don't know what it means, yeah. 2.5 minutes of the added 3 gone. Long clearance by Ward. Broadhead heads it out for a Latvia throw. That allows Wales to get Ben Cabango on. Cabango comes on for Harry Wilson, who's had one of his best games for Wales, I would suggest. Hasn't scored, but he's been lively throughout. And Ben Cabango, who went to the World Cup but didn't play, is coming on for his 6th cap, and he's going to take up a defensive position as Latvia, in the dying seconds of this game now, tried to sneak a late equaliser. Is that a corner or a goal kick? It's a goal kick.
Yeah, going back to Harry Wilson, it's been impressive from him. I think he dipped in and out of the game a little bit in the second half, but that's natural. You know, he's probably feeling it in his legs, but a much more impressive and rounded performance from him, and hopefully one for him to build on, you know, coming into the next couple of games in June.
So
they've gone to 3 centre-halves, Wales.
we all wait for the referee's whistle. That is the final whistle, and Wales have followed up their sensational point-in split with a victory here, as they had to. Kiefer Moore delivered the vital blow just before half-time, and they've been good enough to hold on to the lead against a really doughty Latvia side. And Wales, well, if you'd offered them 4 points from the first 2 games in this group before it started, they would have bitten your hand off. But they've achieved it again, and it's finished here at the Cardiff City Stadium. Wales 1, Latvia 0. Nathan Blake and Helen Ward, how important could that win be?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, Rob Page said he had targeted 4 points. I don't believe anyone thought he'd get 4 points out of the games, but to come away, it's got to be very satisfying, because, you know, again, good performance today, can be better, but, you know, going away to Croatia and getting that point, the boys are building confidence, and life without Gareth Bale isn't looking too bad at the moment. Yeah,
much more enjoyable performance. Like Blakey said, there could have been a little bit more to it. There could have been a couple more goals perhaps if we'd have taken 1 or 2 more chances, but overall a really pleasing performance without a couple of key players as well. Let's not forget, with the likes of Ben Davies and Brennan Johnson not able to take part in this camp. It's been a much needed building block for Robert Page and his team.
Yeah, huge 3 points for Wales. Kiefer Moore's 10th goal for his country has given their first win in 10 games. It's finished Wales 1, Latvia 0.
Yep, there's been more convincing wins for Wales in recent years. There's been more comfortable wins for Wales in recent years, but it matters not a jot. You just wonder, in the grand scheme of things, how significant it will be as Wales top Group D. Croatia 2-0 winners in Bursa against Turkey this evening, but Wales on 4 points, like Croatia, lead the World Cup semi-finalists on their head-to-head record, having scored in Split on Saturday night. The Wales players gather in the centre circle, huddled together by new captain Aaron Ramsey, as many of the Red Wall stay behind and continue to applaud the side to the strains of David Iwan in the background here. Gareth Bale among those remaining applauding the side as they all now link arms. Ramsey trying to make sure that every single player is involved in his post-match speech, a tradition started by the likes of Ashley Williams and Gareth Bale. It continues into this new era, and Wales continue unbeaten into this post-World Cup, post-Bale era. The challenge for them is to continue to go unbeaten in these Euro 2024 qualifiers. Their next attempt will be in 2.5 months' time as they take on Armenia back here in the Welsh capital on Friday the 16th of June, while Latvia hosts Turkey. Then just 3 days later, it's the long trip to the heat of Turkey. A tough game for Rob Page's side as Armenia take on Latvia, as now the Wales players make their way around to the 4 stands of the Cardiff City Stadium to applaud the players. The interview boards are all being set up. We'll try and bring you some reaction before Larry Shawn takes over at 10 o'clock, but let's get some more thoughts of our 2 distinguished former Wales internationals, Nathan Blake and Helen Ward. Helen, apart from Rob Phillips's trivia, did you enjoy that?
I did. I thought, towards the end it would have been nice to have had that second goal and a bit of a cushion, but it always looked relatively comfortable. There are one or two moments that may have concerned Rob Page and the team, but overall it was a decent performance, one to build on, and one that certainly builds confidence, particularly for the likes of Dan James and Harry Wilson, who haven't had it all their own way in recent times in a Welsh shirt or in their club football. So important for them, important for Kiefer Moore to get another goal. That'll be big for him, as any centre forward will tell you. The longer you go without the goal, the more difficult it becomes. So he took that brilliantly, he looked a threat all night, and I thought actually the front three did themselves really proud this evening, and as I said, it's something to build on.
Nathan, we talked about before the game that on paper he was the worst side in the group. On paper it's a game that Wales should be expected to win. You not only wanted a result, you wanted to see more from this Wales side. Did you see it?
At times, yeah, I did, Chris. Like I said, I thought they were a bit rigid if we're talking overall. I thought they could have, pushed at least one man further forward, brought someone in from the back, one of the centre halves stepping in a bit more often into midfield, and then pushing like a Morel or an Ampadu just a bit further forward to give, to occupy the player who's in that number 10 position and give a bit more freedom to Aaron Ramsey. But listen, the most difficult thing in football or in sport is winning when you're expected to win. It's so difficult, and Wales have gone out, given a good performance, I would say. Like I say, can improve, but over the course of 2 games, to come out with 4 points and top of the table, I think that's more than what Rob Page would have wished for.
67% possession, only 5 attempts on target. Nico Williams was a busy boy, as Helen Ward pointed out. I think he had the most shots of any Wales player. It seemed though they still, Helen, struggled to have that little bit of creativity. When Latvia sat deep, as they would have expected them to do beforehand, and as Nathan was saying, you wanted more runners. Was that down to Rob Page to change things a little bit, or was it down to the players themselves to take the onus on themselves, take responsibility?
Potentially a little bit of both, I think. I think that the team are obviously set up by Rob Page and his coaching team, but at the same time you feel your way into a game as a player, and I think those midfielders should really be able to sense that they've got more space, that they've got a bit more licence to go forward. As Blakey mentioned a few times, there's only one centre forward to defend. The back two of Chris Mepham and Joe Roden had him all night long. They had no problem, so they could have afforded to have one less player sat in front of him, and that would have allowed Ramsey to get forward. But as I said in commentary, I just felt he in particular played a little bit within himself. Joe Morel, he does a good job, he's neat and tidy, but again I think he could be braver in possession at times. I thought he showed a bit more of that in the second half, in fairness. He found himself slightly higher, but I think Ramsey then could have taken it on himself to do even more as well. But it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, and I think you've got to look at the opponent as well. You have to take that into account. I mean, Godowskis, twisted Joe Roden inside out at one time, and it could have been different. A couple of chances in the first half also, but Danny Ward kept his concentration really good throughout the whole game. And like I say, I'm not disappointed at all. I think it's a great result. Like I said, having to get a win when it's expected is a really difficult thing. But I felt as the game went on, I didn't see it as a risk, stepping forward and having another man push forward to get that extra man in the box, because at times when we were getting down the flanks, there was only ever one man, maybe 2 men in the box. And I think if you're going to score goals, you have to be a bit braver. And the first 10 minutes, Wales come out and smothered them really, and I was expecting the second half, Wales to just play their way into a situation where they kept recycling the ball beautifully, but they didn't. They were all outside the box. You know what I mean? It was coming to players. They were recycling it, keeping it, but then no one was saying, right, let's get 2, 3, 4, 5 men in the box at times. Not all the time, but at times. And I just think that you could have gone on and maybe got yourself a second or a third goal, but you take the win. It's a great win, right? 4 points in 2 games, so everyone goes home happy. I'm happy, I'm sure Rob Page is happy, but when he watches it, I'm sure, like I said, you're up against a team ranked 133 in the world. It's not that 1-0 is a satisfying result, but I just feel there was probably more goals in there for Wales had they stepped forward a bit more and been a bit braver in possession.
Yeah, still a work in progress under Rob Page. Clearly, it is important that Wales wins their first win in 10 games, which it had been their worst winless run since 2001. But Kiefer Moore's 41st minute goal, the difference. He's been given some of his reaction to television. The Bournemouth striker saying he's delighted to get on the score sheet, put in a rigid performance against Croatia, but to back it up tonight, it is massive. But the side need to keep building. Moore says there's a lot of new faces in the squad, but it's looking good so far. We will try and bring you some reaction here on Radio Wales Sport before 10 o'clock. Here's a stat for you. I'll see if I can match Rob Phillips. No player has scored more goals for Wales since Kiefer Moore made his debut in October 2019, and his 10th for his country tonight, Robert.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's just, there's always been this debate, hasn't there, about whether Rob Page really wants to play with a big striker up front, but his goal record has made him undroppable, and so when he's fit he plays, and you can understand why. It's not just the goals, the way he holds up the ball, and he roughed up their big centre half when he was up against it, let's be honest, because they were giants, a couple of their defenders, and he does bring others into play.
What are you saying that Page was thinking about that false 9 again?
I was saying that I think that's the way Rob Page really wants to play, but he can't because he's got Kiefer Moore, and he's happy not to play like that because of Kiefer Moore.
I'd suggest that a big number of those 10 goals are important ones as well, match-winning goals a lot of the time, and that's, you can't buy that sort of thing in football, especially international football. If you've got someone that can score big goals in big moments, it's hard to leave them out of the team.
You have to remember as well that there's been no Brennan Johnson for these 2 games, and he's seen as Wales's biggest attacking threat. Now Gareth Bale is no longer playing.
I do feel in a game like today he would have had a field day, right? Brennan Johnson. He's probably sat at home thinking, probably missed an opportunity there to get a few international goals, because the counter-attack was on so many times, and that pace that he has and that directness, he would have had a field day today.
He'd have posed them a very different problem, wouldn't he?
Absolutely, yeah.
And you do wonder whether it's not the last we've heard of Robert Page's frustration, should we say that, putting it kindly, with Steve Cooper and Nottingham Forest, that Brennan Johnson was not part of this squad. We will see if that changes for those games against Armenia and Turkey in June. Wales, the winners tonight. Helen Wardson, she bet a big percentage of Kiefer Moore's 10 goals to Wales were match winners. 60% of them, I can tell you, were headers. Wow. So they know what's coming, they still can't stop it. I was surprised though, and both of you pointed out how tired that not only Kiefer Moore was looking, that Robert Page didn't, I don't know why I keep on calling him Robert, it's very formal of me. Robert Page didn't make substitutions earlier, having done so in Croatia, obviously with this game in mind. But also these are players that have hardly played. Harry Wilson, Dan James, I know you both were impressed with his performance tonight. He's talking about 400 minutes since the World Cup, 500 minutes for Kiefer Moore, I think it is. Harry Wilson the same. And it's not just the fitness, is it, Nathan? Is it just that rhythm when you're not playing?
It's a rhythm, it's a match fitness, and you want to give these players, especially if that was the plan to draw them off at 60 minutes in Croatia, you want to give them 80, 85, 90 plus minutes if you can, because you know they're going to go back to their clubs, and you're going to have the same situation again in a couple of months' time. So, if you're Harry Wilson or you're Kiefer Moore, this opportunity to play 90 minutes, plus you've got 60 minutes in your legs from Saturday's game, you got to take it. You don't want to be going 3-4 months without playing 90 minutes. That'd be an absolute nightmare, especially.
I think also from Rob Page's point of view, the risk factor. In Croatia there's no expectation to get anything, so he can potentially make those subs thinking, well, if it works it's great, if it doesn't, we've not really lost out. Whereas here there's an expectation to win. If he makes a change and that doesn't work and it goes against you, and Latvia end up getting an equaliser, that reflects really badly on him. So there's a bit of that as well, I think, but also exactly what Blakey's saying, for the players, you don't want to just keep getting 60 minutes, you want to build those minutes up, and there's nothing worse than knowing that when an hour's up you're coming off. So for those players it's big for them. Yeah.
Rob Page will be happy with his decision so far, though, because they've earned him 4 points from these opening 2 games. 1-0 against Latvia tonight. Just to tell you one of the other scores and the many other games going on in the European qualifiers tonight, Scotland have beaten Spain by 2-0 in Group A. Scott McTominay with a double. That's 4 in the space of 3 days. Scotland 2 wins from 2 now, Steve Clarke's side. They are top. Georgia and Norway drawing 1-1 earlier. In Group I, Switzerland beat Israel by 3-0. They're also on 100%, so they top the group with Romania, who beat Belarus by 2-1. Kosovo drawing with Andorra. And if you're a Wrexham fan, either listening back at home or making your way back to the car park from the Cardiff City Stadium for the long journey home, Altrincham failed to help you out tonight. Notts County winning 2-0 away from home to go top of the league, the National League that is, on goal difference. National League record equalled tonight in terms of goals scored. Notts County with 103 goals. Of course, Wrexham do have 2 games in hand and can regain that top spot against Oldham on Saturday. They can also make it to 100 points. That race for the promotion is going to be fascinating. Time is fast running out on us on here as the substitutes, including Nathan Broadhead, go through their paces on the warm down. He impressed again when he came on, Helen Ward.
Yeah, I thought he did okay. I think he didn't see too much of the ball. I think by that stage it was a bit more about maintaining the result than trying to go for the jugular and get another one, but he did okay. He's, the last 2 games he's done himself no harm. He's contributed in a positive way, especially obviously with that goal in Croatia, but he'll be pleased with his contribution, and I'm sure Rob Page will be as well.
Who stood out for you, Nathan?
I think it was just I thought Dan James was really good, in fairness to him. I mean, that little chip pass he played over the top for Wilson's volley, that was sublime. I thought he had a good game. I thought Wilson was good at times. I thought the big man up front, excellent. The 2 holding midfielders, they played well, but like I said, I just wanted a bit more going forward for me. Nico Williams, I thought, had a really impressive game. He had about 6 shots from inside left,
all from the same area.
Yeah.
Probably have more shots than their strikers.
I don't know about. Yeah, he did actually. I'm just checking my stats board. 5 shots is as much as any other player on the Wales side. Harry Wilson also had 5.
Yeah, so there was impressive performances all around the pitch. Like I said, for me it was. There's opportunities to really get into a rhythm of playing. They're not a new team. They know each other's games, but they could have been a bit more on the front foot, a bit braver for me. But to come out and win the game and pick up 3 points, that's the most important thing. So like I said, not disappointed by it. I just feel like when those opportunities arise, you try and take them, because you never know, it could come down to goal difference or something like that, right? So then you're playing the least ranked team at home with an opportunity, because it was clear in the game that's what it was for me. It wasn't I'm not saying I'll go gun-ho and just throw your tactics out the window and go for it, but 1 or 2 little tactical changes I felt would have helped them far greater and would have given more opportunity to get a second goal, because there was never enough men in the box for me whenever the balls were going in the box. So that's something, if you're sat down tonight with Rob Page or tomorrow with his team, that's something I would say, I would encourage him to look at and see, right, how can we improve that?
Chris, quickly on Kiefer Moore, I've just gone through his goal record. They've only lost once when he scored, and that was to Belgium away, and there are at least 3 1-0 wins in that. Mexico, Estonia come to mind, obviously tonight as well. So you do see, Helen was right, he scores big goals for Wales.
Oh, that's what he's there to do, isn't it? And it's the moments that you live for as a striker. So credit to him. He gets himself in and around the box. He's a lot to handle for defenders. And when he gets the service, as we saw tonight from Dan James, when he gets that service, he will stick it in the back of the net, particularly in the air. He's so strong in the air, and he directed that header brilliantly. And he's worked hard tonight. He's really made himself a nuisance. He had a real battle with those 2 centre halves, and he's come out with a lot of credit and a well-deserved winner.
and having had my genes fact verified on Twitter,
congratulations,
who was by an expert, I feel my work here is done.
Said with such flair, Mr. Phillips. Said with such, that should be flares perhaps.
Hey, here all week.
Yeah, nice.
No, it's getting rather cold and the mowers are out and they've got to get it ready because the South Wales derby is here on Saturday. Ollie Cooper perhaps won't get the same kind of reception he got tonight here when he is back on Saturday. The Swansea City midfielder winning his debut in the final seconds of this game. Swansea manager Russell Martin here to see it. Final brief thoughts in the final minute or so. Helen, happy enough with what you've seen tonight? You're always going to be happy with a win, I guess.
Yeah, you've got to be happy. 4 points from the 2 games, tough trip to Croatia, a win at home. You can't ask for too much more.
Nathan, very briefly.
Yeah, happy, could be happier. I'm a greedy man, and 4 points, like Helen said, sitting at the top of the table, and very happy, very good night.
The road to Germany continues. Aaron Ramsey has been speaking, says it's a good start, so going into the summer gives us a lot of confidence. It was a big honour to lead the side out here at Cardiff City Stadium in front of my family, and he delivered, did the Wales captain. Hopefully we'll bring you more reaction on the BBC Sport website and on Radio Wales Breakfast tomorrow. Radio Wales Sport back here, as I was saying, on Saturday for the South Wales derby, Cardiff City against Swansea.